with Mr. Electric.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. The Ravens ready to welcome back tight end Mark Andrews. He's been activated off injured reserve, giving quarterback Lamar Jackson back his favorite target for the AFC Championship game Sunday versus Kansas City. In the 7 games that Andrews missed with an ankle injury, Baltimore's offense didn't really miss a beat, thanks in part to second-year tight end Isaiah Likely stepping up. And the two of them could cause some issues for KC. ESPN NFL analyst Ryan Clark.
Now you can have Isaiah Likely on the field and Mark Andrews, which allows you to be bigger on the line, but there are also problems in the pass game. And so if you go with your bigger linebackers and people, they're going to get beat on the outside.
49ers receiver Deebo Samuel took another step toward playing in Sunday's NFC Championship game versus the Lions, was a limited participant at practice yesterday after missing Wednesday's session with a left shoulder injury. NBA Mavericks will be without guard Kyrie Irving a second straight game tonight against the Hawks because of a sprained thumb. Atlanta guard Trae Young questionable. He missed the last 2 games in concussion protocol. Manager Jurgen Klopp announcing he's leaving Liverpool after this season and says he won't help the club pick his successor.
Hey, it's your resident Super Bowl champ, Chris Candy. Coming up Monday, we'll react to the conference championship games and get you ready for the Super Bowl. It's Unsportsmanlike, 6 a.m. Eastern, right here on ESPN Radio, ESPN2, and ESPNU.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge Studios.
That's right.
And off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. AFR presented by Don Juan Cigar Bar. I'm Matt.
This is Shaq O'Neal, and I hate Matt.
Paul O'Neal.
They're chanting Paul O'Neal's name.
Yusuf. And Mr. Toby Tom Play. All right. We're here. Glad you are as well. Get out there. Make it a good one. LSU Tigers fall to number 1 South Carolina. Tero next hour. We got LSU baseball on the practice field. What a time to be alive. But let us begin as we do every single day.
It's time to pop the top on another edition of AFR with Bud Light. Drink easy.
Well, there is only one place to start on this show. And I understand in this town, in this state, and lots of points in between, there may be other things that you are more interested in right now, such as the LSU Lady Tiger basketball game last night against South Carolina, the conference championship games this weekend. The Saints are interviewing a new OC candidate. But here on this show, there is one place on this day where we begin. Might I remind you that over the summer back in July, a wager was struck between yours truly and Chad Johnson. Yes, Ocho Cinco, the Ocho Cinco. Ocho made some bold proclamations about what Derek Carr's statistics would be this year. I poked fun at Ocho Cinco's predictions. We turned it into a short, a reel, posted on social media. Ocho replied to it. I said, hey, let's have a wager on this. He agreed. And if you don't recall, it didn't go so great for Ocho. Because Derek Carr is, well, you know, as we know Derek Carr to be the emperor of empty yards. Hey. And his yards weren't even empty enough. Ocho predicted 38 touchdowns. Carr just 13 shy of that number, 25. Ocho predicted 6 interceptions. Derek Carr had 8. Ocho predicted 4,700 pass yards. Derek Carr, 3,878. So in all 3 categories, Derek Carr let Ocho Cinco down. But the wager itself, as you might recall, was that if I won, Ocho comes to Baton Rouge to co-host the radio show for a day. If he won, I would do a 3-hour remote at Don Juan featuring Ocho's cigars, and I said I'd even buy a few boxes for our audience to give it out for listeners to try. I asked if we had a deal. Ocho replied on Twitter, absolute deal, was his reply. This was July the 10th at 6:27 p.m. is when Ocho said absolute deal. So there it is. Season came to a close, obviously. A lot of people have been asking me what was up with the Ocho bet. So today I screen grabbed all of those tweets. I screen grabbed the final tally between Ocho's bet and what Derek Carr's final number were, included in a tweet. And I said, okay, Ocho, we doing this? A little handshake emoji. I sent that tweet at 1:10 p.m. today. 2 minutes later, you can't show this, Paulie, because he has an expletive in it. 2 minutes, if it was just YouTube, it'd be fine, but we're on WBTR, so we can't show it. 2 minutes later, Ocho replies, F yeah, let's go. Where do I fly and what day? How about a big round of applause for this man? I mean, now he's still got to come through, and I told him, hey, look, you're the man. I'm working around your schedule. You're doing huge on your part to make good on this. So I said, you pick the day. I'll work around your schedule. I'm on from 3 to 6 p.m. Central. He replies a minute later, okay, I'll fly in after I do Inside the NFL next week on Wednesday. So Ocho's going to do Inside the NFL. He'll fly here on Wednesday, and we'll either do the show Thursday or Friday. We exchange some DMs after that. But it appears, as of now, that the show with Ocho on AFR with Ocho, the 3-hour AFR with Ocho is happening next week. Either Thursday or Friday, it would appear. So mark the date. Go on to Twitter. Throw Ocho his flowers because he deserves them. There's a lot of yellow-bellied losers out there that make bets and then go run and hide from the debts they owe. But Chad Johnson, a.k.a. Ocho Cinco, has proven himself to be exactly what I thought he was, an honorable man, a man of his word, and that dude's going to fly here on his dime and do this show. Now, we're going to take good care of him. I'm going to make sure we got him set up with a hotel room. We're going to make sure he's got nice dinner. We'll get him a car, whatever we got to do. We're going to make sure we roll out the red carpet for Ocho, for sure, for doing this. But I'm fired up. So we'll give you details on the broadcast when we have them, depending on what day it is, and if we're going to be here in studio, if we're going to go on remote or something, we'll let you know. But excited about it, and we'll keep you posted. So hat tip, Ocho. A lot of y'all have asked about it, and just a couple hours ago, he did confirm he's in, and it'll likely be next week. All right, our show Open Every Day is brought to you by Bud Light. Drink easy here in Louisiana with the great taste of Bud Light, the official beer of the LSU Tigers, the official beer of the New Orleans Saints, the official beer of AFR, beer of the UFC. Great time this weekend with the conference championships on Saturday. If you're just going to be hanging out this weekend, make sure you got plenty of ice-cold Bud Light. Great time last night over at Pluckers. Our friends at Mockler Beverage gave us a ton of swag, including a gigantic bag full of hats and shirts and the LSU Women's Basketball National Championship koozies, and we were slinging them, man. They cleaned us out at Pluckers last night. I mean, dozens of hats and shirts and koozies. It was a great time. So thanks to all who came, and, of course, thanks as well to our friends at Mockler Beverage who ponied up a couple of tickets for last night's game for us to give away to a listener, and we appreciate their partnership. Drink easy in Louisiana with Bud Light. Okay, it's after further review. The LSU Women's Basketball team did, in fact, lose to South Carolina. 76-70 was the final, and, boy, it was massively disappointing for it to play out the way that it did. LSU led by 11 on multiple occasions in the first half. Aside from 2-0, South Carolina didn't lead again until about the 5-minute mark of the ball game. Angel Reese fouled out with just over 4 minutes to play. And the lack of depth on LSU's team certainly showed itself. Look, if Kateri Poole were still on this team, if Samaya Smith hadn't torn her ACL, you'd have a deeper bench, and maybe LSU's got enough to finish it last night, but they didn't. I mean, there's two different ways to look at that. Obviously, there's the disappointment in the loss and not being able to finish. I mean, 3 different times in the first half when LSU got it to 11 points, they just couldn't stretch it beyond 11. South Carolina hit the 3 at the buzzer before the end of the half, so an 8-point lead for LSU became 5 going into the locker room. And there were just missed opportunities. But South Carolina, there's a reason they're undefeated. They're number 1 in the country, and they're a great team. So they're deep, and they rallied and ultimately pulled it off there at the end. But there's 2 things. Number 1, obviously, LSU a year ago lost at South Carolina by 24 and went on to win the national championship. So losing last night doesn't preclude you from any of your goals except maybe the regular season conference championship. And I don't think Kim Mulkey and her squad are aching for a regular season SEC championship. They're trying to play into the beginning of April and play in another Final Four and win another national championship. But because that's your second conference loss and South Carolina has a tiebreaker, it's hard to imagine Carolina losing 3 conference games the rest of the way. So you can sort of scratch that goal off your list. But it's one. It's not the one, but it's a goal. Aside from that, I think you learned a lot about yourself. And you got 2 months still to play before you hit the NCAA tournament. I could also look at look at the night that Michaela Williams had. And she is just absolutely marvelous. I mean, averaging 16 points as a freshman. She was 1 of 10 from 3 last night. There's just not going to be another day where Michaela Williams is 1 of 10 from 3. I'm not putting the loss on Michaela Williams. I mean, it wasn't our fault, but you can look at certain statistical outliers and see that. And then Angel Reese fouled out, and then, of course, LSU was collapsing the paint. They left shooters open on the perimeter, and South Carolina made some threes late. So, disappointing loss, great atmosphere. Hat tipped all the LSU fans who went, made it loud, made it impressive. It was beautiful to see on television. A great statement for all of women's basketball. Look, I mean, College Game Day was there. The game was on ESPN, and we're sitting here leading the show. Well, Ocho led the show, but co-leading the show with LSU women's basketball. So, great atmosphere. See if the Tigers can bounce back this weekend. All right, it's after further review. We're glad you're hanging out with us here. Let me knock out our first break of the show. We'll come back. Saints have added another OC candidate to the list. We'll sort of assess the board and talk about this newest name. It's one SEC fans know really well. We'll talk about him next. It's AFR.
AFR.
Brought to you by River City's 1 Hour Air, where they're always on time or you don't pay a dime. Hey, remember, tomorrow's Saturday, and then the day after that's Sunday. You know that constitutes the weekend. So if you have issues with your heater or your AC on the weekend, no worries. Just call River City's 1 Hour Air, 752-0001, 752-0001, 752-0001. Remember, they will always come out nights, holidays, weekends, and they will never charge you extra to come out nights, holidays, weekends. I told you the story before. Several years ago, it was Easter Sunday. It was Easter Sunday. We came back from our family crawfish bowl about 5 in the afternoon. Our house was hot. The AC wasn't working. Called River City's 1 Hour Air thinking, I'll just get front of the line for the next day. Nope. Someone was there within an hour. It's River City's 1 Hour Air. Look for the big yellow vans and trucks with a giant clock on the side for River City's 1 Hour Air. 752-0001, 752-0001. Mention the Moscona special. $25 off your system repair at River City's 1 Hour Air.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. For years, you've heard me tell you about Insurance Network of Louisiana, helping you find better coverage for less money. But it's not just for your home and auto. They also offer commercial properties. So, retail stores, professional offices like doctors, dentists, attorneys, clothing boutiques. Insurance Network of Louisiana can find you better coverage for less money. They service the entire state of Louisiana, and they're local. So call today at 293-0450 or lainsurance.net.
Yo, Jake here from my friends over at Community Steel Company located in Gonzales, Louisiana. The local place you can turn to for all of your metal building needs. Notice I said local, not Houston, not Dallas, not Atlanta, but right here in Gonzales. Visit them at their brand new state-of-the-art website at communitysteelco.com or pick up the phone and give them a call today to answer all of your questions on your metal buildings, roofing and sheet metal, and any other steel needs you or your business need at 225-647-2020.
Happy New Year from your friends at Front to Back Boat Service. And what better way to kick off your new year than by taking your boat to the next level? Get the boat of your dreams, and that's where Front to Back comes into play. You want that spot lock trolling motor that's going to keep you right there on the water where you need to be. How about some forward-facing sonar that actually shows you the fish before you even cast? Custom stereo jobs, all of it. Sherman Family.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Don Juan Cigar Bar.
Tero will be here in 43 minutes. Looking forward to it. Ryan's letter, Kick Rocks. Theriot said he wanted to talk about the Kayshon Boutte thing as well. So I can imagine he may have a thing or two to talk about. Jay Johnson did meet with reporters earlier today, first day of practice for the LSU defending national champion baseball team. And I know this is... I'm going to ask Theriot this point blank, and I know that this is going to sound crazy to a lot of people, considering a year ago LSU had the Golden Spikes Award winner, the Dick Hauser Award winner, won the national championship, guys that went 1-2 in the draft and all that. But there's a strong belief that this team could be more talented than a year ago. Will they put it all together? I don't know, but if you just look, up and down the roster, that this team could be more talented. So we're going to talk about that with Theriot. Remember, we did this a year ago where for the month leading up to the season opener, every Friday he would take a different position group or a different unit, like infielders, outfielders, pitching, starting pitching, relief pitching. So we'll talk about LSU starting pitching in hour 3 with Theriot here. And look, a huge part of that is going to be Nate Yeskie. Remember, Wes Johnson's gone. He's the head coach of Georgia. Nate Yeskie is in now as the pitching coach. And Jay Johnson, when he met with reporters earlier today, gave some of the player feedback so far on Nate Yeskie.
Player feedback and pitcher feedback on Coach Yeskie's been phenomenal. And that's why I brought him here. I brought him here to know exactly what I was getting out of a pitching coach. And we haven't even seen the best of it yet because the games haven't started. That's where I think he really adds a tremendous amount of value. But, talking about Christian Little, the improvement there, DJ Primo, we had him and Coach Yeskie working one-on-one in the mornings all fall. And that worked really, really well. And you're taking a guy that redshirted, couldn't even put him on a mound, and you'll be in the game at important times.
It's going to be interesting to watch it develop here over the next 3 weeks till LSU hits the field for their opener at the box. Again, I'll remind you, and we'll talk about it more as we get closer, but they're kind of doing a different thing. They did it some last year, but a lot of Fridays in the pre-conference are going to be 2 o'clock first pitch at the box. So some of the midweek games, they're trying to avoid the cold temperatures in the evening at dark at the box. So, and then in the instance of the opening weekend, because it's a round robin, and so there'll be 2 games played each day, Jay wants to make sure that LSU gets its game in on Friday, so they're going to play early. They'll be the first game. So 2 o'clock season opener. That'll work just great for us here on AFR. Smack dab in the middle of LSU baseball. Muse, I know you're going to be locked into the show.
How many? We had what, like 6 games head up against us last year, including the regional opener. I mean, it was a lot last year. It'll be a lot this year.
I got used to the regional opener thing because Paul Maneri got into the habit of doing that as well. And Paul always gave the strategy behind it was in the event that there was rain and there was a delay, he wanted to make sure they got their game in first. And it made a lot of sense. So, you wouldn't want to be the second game. And if the first game was delayed, then you're playing at 10, 11 o'clock at night or even move to the next day. So I got it. It makes sense why you do it. But the opener against VMI, come on.
Hey, they took 2 or 3 from State last year. It was hilarious.
That was pretty good.
State walked like 18 in one game. It was
awesome. Okay, it's after further review. By the way, when are you dropping Musso at the Box?
It's going to be next week.
I know a date yet?
I have not decided on a date yet. We're still finalizing some things, but it will be next week.
So Musso at the Box, daily LSU baseball podcast with our guy Muse here. So make sure on your favorite podcast app, go search Musso at the Box. It's Musso, not Mewesso. Musso at the Box, our guy Muse. And make sure you subscribe up on your favorite podcast app. Can we reveal the other sort of, are we locked in on the other piece?
I mean, we're finalizing the space that'll be used for it, and I think we still have to make...
But can we tell people?
Yeah, sure. We can tell them.
Well, go ahead. Tell them your news.
Well, we're going to be a video element now this year, too, so a YouTube channel will be coming.
There will be a Musso at the Box YouTube channel. So we will need everybody to go subscribe to the YouTube channel. So, Paulie, has Musso told you that yet?
I think I just did.
Okay.
He did about 3 seconds ago.
Yeah,
good. We're going to have a Musso at the Box YouTube channel, Paulie, our OTT video manager. We'll have to create that YouTube channel. Delegate, friend. Delegate. All right, it's after further review. We're brought to you by Shawbills Tire and Auto Service. I'm going to get to the Saints. Saints have added another OC candidate. Reminder about Shawbills Tire and Auto Service, shawbillstire.com. Shawbillstire.com. Remember, go to the website. You can schedule service online. You can shop tires online. There's a really easy-to-use widget as well. So if you go to the website, even on the mobile site on your phone, right at the bottom, you'll see the little text bubble. You tap that, choose the location nearest you, and boom, in instant, you're live chatting with a Shawbills associate at the location nearest you, so they can help you if you need help, scheduling, anything like that. Shawbills Tire and Auto Service, shawbillstire.com. Remember, name brand tires at wholesale prices, and they keep you coming back year after year after year after year after year because they treat you like family. It's Shawbills Tire and Auto Service, shawbillstire.com. Shawbills, where we keep you rolling. So the Saints search for a new offensive coordinator rolls on, and it was Diana Rossini earlier today who had the report of the latest LSU, or excuse me, the latest Saints. Well, I'm saying LSU, the latest Saints candidate for OC, and it's Brian Johnson, the now former Eagles offensive coordinator. So here was the report earlier today from Diana Rossini. About 11:28 this morning. Former Eagles and offensive coordinator Brian Johnson spent the day with Cleveland yesterday. He meets with the Bucs next Monday and will interview for the vacant Saints offensive coordinator position per sources. So Diana Rossini had it first. A couple of things here on Brian Johnson, then sort of the big picture. It's interesting with Brian Johnson because he has mostly in his career been a college coach. And remember, Brian Johnson was an Urban Meyer guy at Utah. So Utah, coached at Utah, followed Dan Mullen to Florida and Mississippi State, spent 1 year at Houston as well. And then, after his tenure at Florida under Dan Mullen, he jumped into the NFL, where he's been the Eagles OC for the last 3 years. Now, it's interesting about Brian Johnson in Philly because he very clearly was the fall guy for the slide the Eagles took at the end of the season. They were in the Super Bowl a year ago. This year, Brian Johnson was quarterback's coach, working with Jalen Hurts. This year, he was promoted to offensive coordinator. And, I mean, the Eagles were one of the best teams in the NFL, and then they obviously faltered down the stretch. But this was an Eagles offense that finished 7th in scoring, 8th in total offense, had 2 1,000-yard receivers with Devontae Smith and A.J. Brown. Jalen Hurts did have a career high in interceptions this season, but still was very effective throwing the football. His rushing numbers dropped a little bit this year. But it really felt like Nick Sirianni had to have a fall guy for the way things went south in Philly, and so Brian Johnson was that guy. I think Brian Johnson could be an excellent offensive coordinator. And he checks a lot of the boxes of what we've discussed. He turns 37 years old in February, so next month he'll be 37. So he's a young guy who has spent time in college, now 3 years in the NFL. He's been a quarterback's coach, an offensive coordinator. He played quarterback. He's part of my native language theory, right? This is all he knows is modern offense. It's all he's played and coached, 7-on-7, all that stuff his whole life. So if you have the list of Saints candidates and you draw the line down the middle, on one side you have all the young, innovative guys, and on the other sand you have the old retreads. It's like, well, what do you want? Do you want John Gruden or Mike Sullivan, or do you want Gerard Johnson or Clint Kubiak, Ronald Curry, Brian Johnson, someone along those lines? It's like which side of the ledger are you choosing from? It was interesting though, because when you look back at Brian Johnson's career and you look at the quarterbacks he's worked with, there's a pretty common thread among all of them. At Utah, Mississippi State, Houston, Florida, and then in the NFL with the Philadelphia Eagles. Like when he was at Mississippi State, Dak Prescott was the quarterback. When he went to Houston, De'Aaron King was the quarterback. When he went to Florida, it was weird the first year because Felipe Franks was still there. And they had recruited Kyle Trask, but who they signed, remember, was Emory Jones, who then continued to play at like 5 different schools everywhere. It was really weird, the end of his career. And then he goes to the NFL, and he's got Jalen Hurts for 3 years. Do you understand, like, all of the offensive systems that Brian Johnson has functioned in as a coach, quarterback coach coordinator, have been with mobile quarterbacks. Have had that element of the offense, the quarterback's ability to be a dynamic runner. That's not Derek Carr. So if you are, as the Saints organization, committed to Derek Carr as your quarterback, as it certainly appears they are, then I'm not so sure that Brian Johnson as your offensive coordinator makes the most sense, because he hasn't run offenses with quarterbacks that don't run. I mean, I'm looking here at Derek Carr's career statistics. The most rushing yards he's had in a season, forgive me, I had it. Here it is. The most rushing yards Derek Carr's had in a season is 40? No, I'm sorry. 140 yards. That's the most rushing yards Derek Carr has had in a season in his career. And that was in the COVID year in 2020. He ran 39 times for 140 yards and 3 touchdowns. Also a career high. My point is, Derek Carr ain't a runner. He's never been a runner, not going to be a runner. So if you have a quarterback or a coach who offensively, as he calls plays, has thrived with having a quarterback that can run, and you remove that element from the offense, what do you really have? So really with Brian Johnson, it's more of a question of, is Derek Carr going to be your guy? Because if he is, then it's hard to imagine why Brian Johnson would be the offensive coordinator. So if we look at the Saints candidates to date, let's start with kind of what we know. They interviewed Dan Pitcher, who's the Bengals quarterbacks coach. Well, he's off the board. Dan Pitcher was promoted to Bengals offensive coordinator with their coordinator leaving. So Dan Pitcher's off the board. And then Shane Waldron is also off the board. So Shane Waldron was with Seahawks. Obviously, Pete Carroll out. Shane Waldron was a highly sought-after coordinator candidate. He took a job with the Bears. So those two are off the board. And then today, there's a lot of buzz around Zach Robinson of the Rams. And the reason a lot of people are talking about Zach Robinson today is Raheem Morris got the Atlanta Falcons job. So Raheem Morris was the defensive coordinator of the Rams, just got the Falcons head coaching job. And so a lot of the thought around the NFL is that Zach Robinson is going to go from L.A. to Atlanta with Raheem Morris and go be the Falcons offensive coordinator. So that's not done yet. Zach Robinson is still the quarterback's coach with the Rams, but the prevailing wisdom and thought around the league right now is that Robinson is going to go with Raheem Morris to Atlanta to be their offensive coordinator, so that would take Zach Robinson off the board. That means your candidates would be Gerard Johnson with the Texans, Brian Griese, Clint Kubiak with the Niners, Mike Sullivan with the Steelers, Ronald Curry, who's the in-house candidate with the Saints, and then Brian Johnson, who's set to interview next week. That would be 6. And then there's the candidates that some have maybe assumed could be candidates, but the Saints haven't formally interviewed, like John Gruden, for example. But known candidates who are still available that the Saints have either interviewed or have expressed interest in interviewing: Gerard Johnson, Brian Griese, Clint Kubiak, Mike Sullivan, Ronald Curry, Brian Johnson. That's your list as of now. And every day it seems like another name is added to the list, but for now it seems like it's going to be one of those 6, unless if the beat goes on and the search continues for the New Orleans Saints as they look for a replacement for Pete Carmichael Jr. Saints are trying to hire an offensive coordinator for the first time in almost 20 years. And for Dennis Allen, it's pretty clear. With the expectation on him, with the investment into Derek Carr, you got to get this right. So they're doing their due diligence. Brian Johnson, next up on the list for the Saints. All right, it's after further review. We're glad you're hanging out with us here. We're brought to you by HUDCO Roofing and HUDCORoofing.com. Do business with someone you know. HUDCO Roofing, HUDCORoofing.com. Y'all, all the rain the last 3 days. My goodness. I joke about it sometimes, but I'm serious. When it rains, our phones ring off the hook because there's only 2 ways to know if you got roof damage. Let us come do a free, no-obligation roofing inspection, or wait for it to rain, and then you realize you got a leak in your roof because you got water in your house. Well, with torrential rain we've had the past couple of days, a lot of roofs are leaking. If that's you, we'd love to help you out. Maybe you don't need a full roof replacement. Maybe you need a small repair. We can help with that. From the smallest repair to the largest commercial job, we'd love to help you out. Do business with someone you know. HUDCO Roofing and HUDCORoofing.com. All right, let me knock out a break. We'll go around the SEC. You still have Tigers and the pros in a little bit as well. Theriot in 28 minutes from right now as we'll kick off hour number 2. Ryan's letter, kick rocks, all that stuff. If you weren't here at the beginning of the show, great news. Chad Johnson, a.k.a. Ocho Cinco, replied to me on Twitter. He's in. He's going to live up to his end of the bet. And Ocho, it appears as of now, will be in Baton Rouge next week one day to co-host AFR with me for 3 hours. We'll give you all the deets once we have them. All right, let me knock out a quick break. We'll come back and go around the SEC. Stick around.
AFR.
Brought to you by Pluckers, Nicholson, just south of campus, Bluebonnet, right in front of the Mall of Louisiana, with 28 flavors of award-winning jumbo chicken wings, ice cold draft beer, full-service bar, sports on TV. Great place to watch the game. Hat tip to everybody who came out last night for the game watch party at Pluckers on Nicholson. Bar, restaurant side were packed for LSU in South Carolina. For all those who couldn't make it into the Maravich Center, who came out to join us, we had a great time. And, of course, we appreciate Steve Levy for hosting us over at Pluckers. And if you need a place to watch any of your favorite sports action this weekend, get on by Pluckers. Maybe you need a little reprieve between kids' games, get on by Pluckers. They'll have the conference championship games on Sunday, of course. If you want to watch the LSU men's basketball game on Saturday, you can do it. You want to watch the Pels tonight, go to Pluckers. Wall-to-wall TVs. No matter where you sit, you'll always have an unobstructed view of a television in spectacular high definition. Award-winning jumbo chicken wings and ice-cold draft beer. It's Pluckers. 2 locations, Pluckers. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
It was a humid day. Barefoot children play, looking for that summer shade. Time just slips away. Oh, Louisiana, stumps. Your roots are planted deep inside of me.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Breck teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered. Gold. Breck, your #1 park system in the nation.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs. Even in the case of an after-hours emergency, the light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Don Juan Cigar Bar.
I'm proud of my teammates. I'm proud of Angel for stepping up and guarding Cardoza big in the first half. I'm proud of Nice for, hitting those shots. Proud of Michaela for keeping her poise as a freshman. Proud of Haley. She had some mishaps, but overall she hit big shots and she tried to keep us controlled. So I'm proud of everybody.
That was Flaugier last night after LSU lost to South Carolina 76-70. Pretty clear. They just didn't have enough in the tank. They had double-digit leads throughout the first half and couldn't quite extend it. South Carolina went on a run at the end of the first half, and LSU held on throughout the third quarter and looked like they might get home. But in the end, South Carolina was a little too much there in the final 4 or 5 minutes. A big part of that was Angel Reese fouling out with about 4 minutes to go. Kim Mulkey talked about that impact after the game.
When you don't have Angel Reese on the floor the last 4 minutes of the game, it takes you out of your rhythm. It takes you out of your confidence zone. I thought the game came down to exactly what it usually does. It's just toughness. It's experience. That was a good basketball game. Our kids fought really hard. And when you don't have your All-American on the floor to rebound first and to guard Cardoza as well, I thought we battled and did about as good as we could.
For what it's worth, there is a bracketology out, and for women's basketball, they've got LSU as a 3 seed in the Portland regional. So as of right now, long way to go, but got LSU on the 3 line. Looking ahead to March a little bit, March Madness. Obviously nothing lost for this team. A lot of basketball still to play, and really what it'll come down to is the draw. I mean, you just think about the Final Four a year ago where, if Caitlin Clark didn't go batty against South Carolina and upset them, LSU probably doesn't win the national championship. Just candidly, South Carolina with Aaliyah Boston, they were a better team than LSU. They beat LSU by 24 in Columbia. That was a bad matchup for LSU. but Iowa upset them, and LSU was a better matchup against Iowa than they were against South Carolina. And, I mean, Jasmine Carson literally could not miss, and LSU won the national championship. I mean, that's the benefit or the chance that happens sometimes with, win and advance single elimination tournament style ball. So anything can happen in a tournament. It's about getting yourself the best draw, and they'll keep plugging away here over the next 8 weeks or so to get toward there. All right, it's After Further Review. We're glad you're with us. We do it every day about this time. Let's go around the SEC.
Around the SEC, bringing you the biggest news from the nation's best conference, the Missouri Tigers.
Well, it took 3 weeks, but Blake Baker finally found Missouri has finally found a replacement for Blake Baker, who left Missouri to come to LSU. It's Corey Batoon, who was the defensive coordinator at South Alabama this past season. He's 55 years old, also coached safeties there at USA, heading up to Como now. Has previously been an assistant at Liberty, Hawaii, Florida Atlantic. South Alabama was top 40 in total defense and 18th. Top 40 in scoring and 18th in total defense this past year.
The Kentucky Wildcats.
Kentucky moving toward a deal for former Alabama offensive line coach Eric Wolford to return to Lexington. Interesting, though, because Kentucky has an offensive line coach right now in Zach Yenser, so we'll see what they elect to do there. Wolford last coached the Wildcats in 2021 before he jumped to Tuscaloosa. Got 13 years experience at the Power 5 level.
The Florida Gators.
Washington defensive back Asa Turner is transferring to Florida, really on the backs of new defensive backs coach Will Harris, who recruited Turner to Washington and is now on Billy Napier's staff there in Gainesville. Turner played last season with 2 broken hands, but still started 26 games for the Huskies over 3 seasons.
The Auburn Tigers.
Former Auburn football player, director of football recruiting relations, Trevon Reed, is joining Gus Malzahn's staff at Central Florida. Of course, Reed played at Auburn under Gus Malzahn. He's heading to Orlando to serve as UCF's cornerbacks coach. So he'll head to an on-field role there under Malzahn. Trevon Reed returned to his alma mater back in 2021 to join staff. Of course, Auburn hiring away LSU football's Will Redmond earlier this week. And on the hardwood, tomorrow, full slate of games. Georgia, their impressive start. See if we can continue down in Gainesville. They're at Florida. That's the 11 a.m. tip. Missouri's at South Carolina, certainly one of the surprise teams in the conference this year. 8th-ranked Auburn is at Mississippi State. Vandy will host 5th-ranked Tennessee. Of course, Vandy upset Tennessee a year ago. Kentucky is at Arkansas. LSU travels to Alabama. Texas A&M hosts Ole Miss. All right, there you have it. That is Around the SEC. We are presented by Traction, TractionSports.com, TractionSports.com. Traction, where champions are made. A couple of things to remind you about. If you've ever been curious about individual performance training, one-on-one performance training, Traction performance training is way more affordable than you may think. It is worth a call over to Traction to inquire about getting individual performance training for your son or daughter. Individual, sport-specific training, performance training for your son or daughter over at Traction. TractionSports.com, TractionSports.com. So also, remember the Mardi Gras camps. Mardi Gras baseball camp, Mardi Gras speed camp. The baseball camp is Wednesday to Friday. That's February 14th through 16th. They have full day and half day options. So the baseball camp, you got full and half day options, ages 5 to 12. The speed camp is 9 to noon. And it's ages 8 and up. So whether it's the speed camp for all sports or the baseball camp, ages 5 to 12, Traction coming up for Mardi Gras week, the 14th through the 16th of Mardi Gras week. That's the Wednesday through Friday of Mardi Gras week. If your kiddos are out of school, you're still working, you need somewhere for them to go, this is a great way for them to get better during that Mardi Gras break. TractionSports.com, TractionSports.com, Traction, where champions are made. All right, Tero is going to be here in about 16 minutes from right now. We are going to start our series. We did this a year ago, and a lot of you really enjoyed it, so we're going to continue that this year. But where every Friday when Terio's here, we are going to We're going to make sure we take time to sort of preview and give a full preview of each different unit on the field. So we'll do infielders, we'll do outfielders, we'll do starting pitchers, we'll do relief pitchers. So excited to get that rolling with Theriot today. We'll look at the starting pitching. So we mentioned Jay Johnson did meet with reporters earlier today. One of the guys trying to work his way into that rotation is Gage Jump, the transfer from UCLA. And Gage Jump did meet reporters today, and he talked about his decision to leave Los Angeles and transfer to LSU.
I just wanted to be in the SEC. The Pac, I didn't really like the way it was going. And I don't have a long track record in college. I think I only have 16, 17 innings. And Coach Johnson, I've known him since high school. He's known my brother, so we kind of had that relationship already. And LSU, I mean, it's the best place in the world to play baseball. So I was super pumped to be able to be here. I'm grateful for that.
I just love that he called it the Pac. Did you catch that? Not the Pac-12, not the Pac-2, just the Pac.
Just the Pac.
I mean, well, I was going to say he would technically be playing in the Big Ten. I guess if he stayed, he'd be in the Big Ten next year. But this year, he'd still be in the Pac. The Pac-12. They are the Pac. They're the Pac-12.
For a few more months.
Do people in the Pac-12 just call it the Pac?
Maybe. I don't know. I've never been in the Pac-12, Matt. I don't have an answer for that.
I think of all the times I've interviewed people from the Pac-12, coaches, media members. I don't know that I remember people calling it the Pac.
Calling it that, yeah.
I remember that. Anyway, let's see if Gage Jump can win one of those starting jobs in the rotation. It would be, I mean, look. Thatcher Hurd, Luke Holman, Gage Jump. I mean, that's kind of unfair. Remember, a year ago, LSU spent the bulk of the season trying to figure out its rotation. I mean, Ty Floyd was a little inconsistent. I mean, Chase Shores was awesome early. He went down with Tommy John just when you thought you were figuring that out. I mean, LSU never really established itself. So really late in the season when Thatcher Hurd emerged. But, I mean, you're going into this season with at least three guys that could be a Friday night guy most anywhere in the country. So, yeah, man, you're going to be deeper and more talented than you were a year ago. But a big part of any baseball season, obviously, is putting it all together as you make it through 56 and then through the postseason. So it all starts today for LSU. It's media day, and then the squad hit the field for their first workout. All right, it's after further review. We'll knock out our final break of hour number one, brought to you by Don Juan Cigar Bar. When we come back, Muslav Tigers and the Pros, Tero in about 15 minutes. Don't you move.
AFR.
Love telling you about these raving fan shout-outs from Darren James's happy, thrilled clients. This one's Roy Henry, who's a loyal AFR listener. Darren listed Roy Henry's home 2 days ago. I got a text from Darren last night with this note from Roy. Darren, we were impressed with you, but never imagined these speedy results and getting an offer so quickly. He said, I'm thinking of writing an email to Matt Moscona for you to use in future advertising. That's where I heard of you, with a smiling emoji with the sunglasses from Roy Henry and his wife, Anna. Big shout out to Roy. Thanks for listening, Roy, and thanks for calling Darren James. There's a reason that I tell you every day. He's on the Wall Street Journal's list of the top 1% of realtors in America. That's based on the number of homes sold. Darren will get you to the closing table faster and for more money. Go to agent225.com. Agent225.com.
Think real estate, think Darren James.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram has $20,000 off new 23 Ram 1500 Black Widow trucks, $20,000 off new Ram 1500 trucks, and all new Bayou Automotive vehicles come with a 1 million mile warranty. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
His name was King. He had a horse along the countryside. I saw him ride. One day they found him.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. For years, you've heard me tell you about Insurance Network of Louisiana, helping you find better coverage for less money. But it's not just for your home and auto. They also offer commercial property. So, retail stores, professional offices like doctors, dentists, attorneys, clothing boutiques. Insurance Network of Louisiana can find you better coverage for less money. They service the entire state of Louisiana, and they're local. So call today at 293-0450 or lainsurance.net.
Yo, Jake here from my friends over at Community Steel Company located in Gonzales, Louisiana. The local place you can turn to for all of your metal building needs. Notice I said local, not Houston, not Dallas, not Atlanta, but right here in Gonzales. Visit them at their brand new state-of-the-art website at communitysteelco.com or pick up the phone and give them a call today to answer all of your questions on your metal buildings, roofing and sheet metal, and any other steel needs you or your business need at 225-647-2020.
Happy New Year from your friends at Front to Back Boat Service. And what better way to kick off your new year than by taking your boat to the next level? Get the boat of your dreams, and that's where Front to Back comes into play. You want that spot lock trolling motor that's going to keep you right there on the water where you need to be. How about some forward-facing sonar that actually shows you the fish before you even cast? Custom stereo jobs, all of it.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Don Juan Cigar Bar.
All right, wrapping up hour number 1. Muso, Tigers in the pros.
Tigers in the pros. They still bleed purple and gold. They're just really rich now.
It was a 25-point night for Cam Thomas off the bench for the Brooklyn Nets to lead his team in scoring. 7 of 15 from the floor, sparkling 10 of 10 from the line. 28 minutes off the bench. It was the game's second leading scorer with those 25 points. They, of course, were facing the Minnesota Timberwolves. Naz Reid over on the other side. Another positive night, +8 and +- 5 points, 4 boards for Naz in 23 minutes off the bench for him. And the Timberwolves got the win 96-94, kind of an old school NBA final there. Not the 124, 115 you're used to seeing these days. One update also pertaining to the Nets. Woj drops this yesterday.
Oh, hit it. There it is.
Yep. Has to do with Ben Simmons. So Ben's going to practice with the Nets G League team in Long Island this weekend, and there is optimism that he could return as soon as Monday versus the Utah Jazz. Yeah, that's what sources are telling Woj. Ben, of course, has been out with a lower back nerve impingement since November 6th. So see if the return does indeed happen on Monday. Yesterday in Tigers in the Pros, told you that Ben Taylor was fighting to make the cut at Farmers over at Torrey Pines. He did make the cut. Couple birdies coming in, got him to 3 under on the line. It's been a rough start today, though, at 2 over, so 1 under for the tournament, currently tied for 66. But he is hanging around and playing the weekend. That is Tigers in Pros.
We're brought to you by Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry, lmfj.com for Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. Gentlemen, thrill her with a beautiful diamond from Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. Again, you know where to find them with 2 locations in Baton Rouge, Corporate Boulevard in Bocage, Mall of Louisiana, New Orleans, Lafayette, Shreveport, 10 locations in all. Remember, when she sees that red box, she's going to be thrilled. You will be the hero. And I cannot recommend it strongly enough, gents. It is January 26th. You have 19 days. You have 19 days until Valentine's Day. Don't screw it up. Thrill her with a gift from Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. They've been here for more than 40 years, helping all of Louisiana get engaged, and they're so good at making it a personal experience. Don't be intimidated. You know, a lot of times you walk into jewelry stores and there's some disheveled guy pulling a calculator out, like trying to give you a discount. Well, yeah, I mean, you're going to mark something up just to give them a discount, or you're going to have a beautiful diamond in the case, and you're going to walk in, and you'll be offered a beverage and chocolates on a tray and have an experience like you're doing something very special and important. That's what it is when you're buying a diamond. Lee Michaels makes that experience special. It's the Lee Michaels experience. Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. LMFJ.com. LMFJ.com for Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. Muse, you 60 seconds. You went through all of Jay Johnson's media availability today. Give me your biggest takeaway from Jay today.
I like the mindset they have going in. I mean, he talked about being pleased with the players and how they've done so far through this, but it's not necessarily going in as the defending champions. It's going in and attacking, trying to win the next national championship.
Okay, I'm going to stop you. I don't like abstract answers. Give me something concrete from the team that he said that you like. I'm with you. You're not wrong. Just give me something concrete from the team that was interesting.
I love the improvement that he talks about with Michael Braswell. Okay. I mean, that is
South Carolina transfer.
Yes, that was one of my biggest things, because he's going to be your shortstop. Can he hit the ball? Well, he led the team in hitting in fall and has continued to improve just going forward. So they're very happy with him.
He said Gavin Guidry is going to focus mainly on pitching.
Yes.
That surprises me. You convinced that kid to pass on dollars and to come back this year. Oh, we're out of time. Hit it.
AFR.
AFR is brought to you by Pure Restoration, pure-restoration.com. Pure-restoration.com. Hey, kill mold, remove odor. Tell you about Pure Restoration every single day. And I know a lot of times I'll get the email or the DM that says, Scone, what's the mold thing you talk about? That's totally fine. If you can't remember it, always just, because let's be real. Like, it's not like mold remediation is an impulse buy. So you need it when you need it. So if you realize you have mold, and after all, we live in the mold capital of the world, or if you had water intrusion and you need remediation, Pure Restoration. They're the best. They're local. My guy Jim Woodworth, he's an Air Force veteran, so you have a military-owned business. It's Pure Restoration, pure-restoration.com. It's a patented, non-toxic dry fog treatment. You hear me say that every day? If you want to learn more about it, you can go to the website. They have a side-by-side, the difference between the dry fog and the wet fog. It's Pure Restoration, pure-restoration.com.
The importance of doing this Fortified program and offering it to people down here is, number one, the only real chance you're going to get to do this is when you put on a new roof or build new. And through companies like HUDCO, who's kind of leading the way in this thing, it's going to offer the customers a huge advantage in the insurance market and the price of their insurance.
You know, we're not looking to make a fortune off fortifying. We're trying to give you a better product than our competitor at the moment. I'm trying to do something that he can. I'm trying to give you something better. So a lot of these insurance shops, you're getting a re-roof, you're only paying your deductible. Let's sit down and talk about the Fortified, and let's see what it does to your insurance premium. You're getting a steal.
Yeah.
You're getting a brand new roof and a Fortified certificate for your deductible, essentially. I think we're rocking and rolling.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs. Even in the case of an after-hours emergency, the light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206 9096. Learn the game to love the game.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. For years, you've heard me tell you about Insurance Network of Louisiana, helping you find better coverage for less money. But it's not just for your home and auto. They also offer commercial property. So, retail stores, professional offices like doctors, dentists, attorneys, clothing boutiques. Insurance Network of Louisiana can find you better coverage for less money. They service the entire state of Louisiana, and they're local. So call today at 293-0450 or lainsurance.net.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. Huge boost for the AFC's top-seeded Ravens. Tight end Mark Andrews out the last 7 games with an ankle injury, activated off injured reserve, so quarterback Lamar Jackson gets back his favorite target for Sunday's AFC title game against the Chiefs. Unsportsmanlike co-host Chris Canty.
He allows the Ravens offense to be more multiple in terms of their personnel groupings. If you've got Mark Andrews, now you can go out there and play that 12 personnel, not lose a lot in terms of the run game and being able to maul at the line of scrimmage, but also have a guy that could be a matchup problem when the Kansas City Chiefs try to match your big personnel with base people on the field.
Since being drafted in the 3rd round in 2018, Andrews ranks in the top 3 in the NFL in receptions, receiving yards, and touchdown catches. Chiefs running back Isaiah Pacheco and linebacker Willie Gay questionable Sunday. Guard Joe Tooney is out. 49ers receiver Deebo Samuel's shoulder injury still uncertain against Detroit NFC title game on Sunday. NBA Mavericks ruled guard Kyrie Irving out versus the Hawks tonight with a sprained thumb. Atlanta guard Trae Young questionable. He missed the last 2 games while in concussion protocol.
Hey, it's your resident Super Bowl champ, Chris Canty. Coming up Monday, we'll react to the conference championship games and get you ready for the Super Bowl. It's Unsportsmanlike, 6 a.m. Eastern, right here on ESPN Radio, ESPN2, and ESPNU.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge Studios.
Let's ride.
It's that Louisiana boy, yeah, they call him the Riot. Born and raised in the swamps, on the fight like a tiger. He going beast mode, baby, he a beast though. What you think he supposed to do? You picture better reload.
After further review, the Riot Radio Hour with Matt Moscona and Ryan Theriot. Presented by Alpha Customs. Alpha Customs, Prairieville and Lafayette. And online at alphacustoms.net.
Well, how's your week going?
Week was good.
Yeah, good.
Yeah, good. I'm full of good ideas.
Here comes Theriot. The throw, not in time. Scudero delivers and the Giants lead Ford 3 in the 10th.
The wave pool, although probably full of bacteria, flesh-eating parasites, and the occasional turd, provides endless hours of fun. It's not cool to have a 30A sticker on the back of your grocery go-getter. Big fan of the truck.
The Riot Radio Hour.
Theriot rounds third. He heads for home. Here's the throw. He is safe. Packers win. Packers win. Go.
Hour 2 off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. AFR presented by Don Juan Cigar Bar. I'm Matt.
You're a loser, man.
Shut up, kid. Paul O'Neill.
They're chanting Paul O'Neill's name.
Yes, sir. We're here. Glad you are as well. Get out there and make it a good one. Yeah, right.
Your voice is back.
You know what? While I was just doing that was the first time in 2 weeks that I thought to myself, while I was doing it, I was like, oh.
I'm back, baby.
I'm back.
I'm back.
Yes. That was the first time where I felt, yes, I'm back. Full throat, ready to roll. I'm just waiting for another Alabama player to hit the portal.
And going after him
another
again.
coach to
another
leave.
3-star,
then
commit, boom, got
red face, sweating, voice gone, clip it, YouTube shorts,
voice gone.
Instagram Reels, TikTok, Twitter, X, put it out there. Bama fans flooding my mentions. just feeding me. They don't realize. You remember what was that movie? Remember Little Shop of Horrors? That's an old movie. Do you remember that?
I do.
Remember the Feed Miss Seymour? It's like the what is it? What's the plant that eats people? The Venus flytrap? Is that right?
Venus flytrap.
Like that thing? Feed me. Like that's what I am with the Bama fans. Their tears are my blood that make me grow and bigger and make me just want to keep trolling them even harder. So I just can't wait for more.
It's coming.
I know. I can't wait for it. How are you? How are you doing it? Look at you.
Do you like the sweater?
You look like Joseph in the Technicolored coat.
Do you like it, honestly?
No.
I don't like it either.
Why are you wearing it?
I don't know. Well, I do know because I've got poison ivy.
Oh.
And I wasn't going to wear a sweater today, but it's not like doesn't touch my body a whole
it's
lot.
soft.
It's soft.
It looks really soft.
Feels,
it looks comfortable.
It feels good when I put it on and looked in the mirror. I've got the full length mirror thing in my closet, and I'm like, I don't really think this looks very good, but it feels good, so I'm going to go with it.
Do you ever look at pictures from like when you were younger or when your parents were younger, and you think to yourself, or you say out loud, why did they wear that?
Why did they wear that?
If someone like, if your kids 20 years from now are coming back onto YouTube and finding old Riot Radio Hour episodes to show their kids when Pawpaw was on the radio.
Pawpaw Cricket.
Pawpaw Cricket. they find this one, they're gonna say, Mom, why did Pawpaw Cricket wear that?
What was he doing? Was it like dress up day? Was it a theme?
Was he trying to match the cigar panel behind him?
I mean, I haven't worn this in years, obviously. I mean, I don't never know
if you want to see it, go to the Watch 104.5 ESPN YouTube channel, and you could see Joseph in the Technicolor coat here. And I mean, that's what it kind of looks like there, friend. Or WBTR in Baton Rouge for our TV partners.
I know I stepped out on a limb with
That's okay. I'm not mad at you. Look, who am I to talk? I have 80 pair of shoes now. I wear a different pair of shoes every day. I have all different kinds of colors. Yeah. Some people like them, some people don't.
What's interesting too is I wore this all day, and you're familiar with the characters that are in and out of my office all day. And nobody said anything negative about it. I was expecting to get something. I mean, I could wear those with this.
Yeah, you could. I mean, these are, they're like avocado green with the orange check, and it's a canvas. The swoosh is canvas. Can you see that? And the laces are hemp. I mean, I love these, by the way. These are ruckus. These are ruckus. I love these, but that's not for everybody.
It's not.
Not everybody would wear this.
No, not everybody.
That's okay. So not everybody would wear that. By not everybody, I mean only you would wear that. But
it's whatever.
It's okay. It's whatever.
Yeah.
It's whatever.
I don't ever know when this was cool or when I would have bought it. I'm just being honest.
Curious. When did you buy that?
I don't know because I have holes all in it.
So it's old.
Watch this.
Oh, look at that. Oh, that. Bro, that was your dog.
Something ate
That
it.
was your dog.
Yeah.
100%.
It's old. I mean, it's years old. And I put it on
That was Dixie.
specifically for like, okay, it's just not on the body and,
Dixie got into the laundry basket, tore that thing up.
But I wore it.
You hung it up or folded it, and you didn't even realize that it had holes because that's been like that since she was a puppy.
I was probably like, I'll never wear this again, and
Just give it to her and let her,
She would love that. She would love that.
But then the problem is then she'll think all your shirts are toys.
I love Dixie. She's so good.
Yeah, she's a good dog.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So what else happened in your world?
This week it's been a really, really good week. Baseball cranking up, so I'm excited about that. We have our first game tomorrow, like scrimmage type thing tomorrow.
Okay.
Dunham Tigers. So it's, the path to Sulphur starts tomorrow, So we're excited about that.
Can I ask, why are the baseball state championships in Sulphur?
It's the dumbest thing in the world.
That's such a terrible idea.
It really,
no disrespect to the town of Sulphur, but my goodness.
No, the town does a good job, and it's fine.
If you want this to be a reward for these kids, my
don't do it in
goodness. Sulphur?
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry, go ahead. Sorry.
So that's cranking up. We had the Flying Squirrels had a big victory this week.
I love that you're calling them the Flying Squirrels. You pushed back on me for a while, and you're back on it?
They had a big victory over St. Michael. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
how did we do?
We did great, man.
Yeah.
Shout out Parkview Eagles women's soccer team, aka Flying Squirrels. So that was good.
Did Macy and Georgie both play?
They did, man. It was a great game. It was a lot of fun. It got a little physical, but that's okay. It's part of it.
It happens. When I think physical sports, I think soccer.
girls soccer at that level is physical, bro.
I believe it.
We had some injuries, it was physical.
Scratching, pulling hair, tearing jerseys, all kind of stuff.
More than that, there was an ambulance at the field.
Okay.
That's a fact. So anyways, it was a good week, and but yeah, so something else is happening right now, which I love, and you know I love this, and it's Mardi Gras season, and king cakes are there. They're here. Okay, they're everywhere.
Yeah,
and
they are.
you know how I feel about king cakes. I love them. I love all king cakes, but I have a one in particular that I would like to talk about today in my letter.
Okay. Yeah, I would love to hear it.
Dear Dong Fong Bakery, I hope your king cakes give people explosive diarrhea and the worst farts known to man.
Wait, hang on 1 second. 1 second. I'm checking something. Hang on. Okay, they're not a sponsor. Go ahead.
Dear Dong Fong Bakery, I hope your king cakes give people explosive diarrhea and are the worst or the worst farts known to man. I don't wish real harm on anyone, but I do hope something goes wrong in the baking process, causing this madness to stop.
Okay.
Your arrogance has gone too far. You've allowed the public to put themselves in harm's way during freezing temperatures and torrential downpours for one of your king cakes. The line that goes outside your bakeries put numerous elderly folks at risk because they can't take the exposure that Mother Nature presents this time of year. All the while, you continue to raise your prices and produce less and less of your actual product. That's what's happening. The good people at Dong Fong are similar to drug dealers at this point. They've taken the most addictive substance on this planet, sugar, and figured out how to legally create addicts out of all of us. Somebody's got to put a stop to this.
Okay.
It's probably wrong of me to wish harm on people who are addicted to something, but I don't know what to do at this point. I feel like the owners of Dong Fong and Blue Store Chicken have found a secret ingredient that forces people to eat their food and they become addicted. I'm not saying it's an illegal drug, but there's something fishy going on.
It maybe is illegal. Well, it's illegal.
It is illegal. It's legal.
A legal drug, yes.
While we're on the topic of king cakes, and you guys know, well, you know that I love king cakes. The fillings and all the crap that goes into the king cakes gotten out of hand.
I agree with you too.
All right.
I'm not.
I don't know if I should say their name because they do a great job and bless their hearts. They have a nice grocery store, but you guys know the one I'm talking about, and it puts all the crazy fillings in, and everybody goes crazy over these king cakes, and they're terrible. Okay. If you need pecan praline filling to make your king cake good, then you're not a true bakery. You could put pecan praline filling on top of a turd and it would taste good.
No, I'm going to disagree on
Maybe
that
not
one.
taste good, but it would smell good for a little while till you got the turd. Stop with all the fillings, the strawberry, the lemon, the cream cheese, blueberry, coconut, boudin, all this crap has gotten out of hand. It's too much. The normal cinnamon flavored king cake is the only one that should be sold. Okay. Now I've got my top three while we're on this subject that I want to talk about a little bit. Encourage you guys to go give them a try. This is this year.
Okay.
No fake flavoring, just regular cinnamon, icing,
Got it.
sugar. All right, coming in at number 3 is right here in Baton Rouge, Heavenly Donut on Highland.
I'm going to
I
respectfully
like it.
disagree.
The fresh
It's not a
Heavenly
king cake.
Donut's good.
It's not a king cake.
I'm on it.
It's a donut. It's not a king cake.
It is a donut.
It's a donut.
It's a donut.
It's not a king cake.
But it's got the white. It's got the
No.
thing. It's Heavenly Donuts. What I'm going. That's my
It's-
number 3. It's a giant glazed donut. That's what I have on
It's
here.
disqualified.
It's a giant glazed
It's a donut.
But it's really good.
It's fine. It's not a king cake. It's a donut.
Mardi Gras pastry. You good with that?
No.
My top 3 Mardi Gras pastries.
Well, it's your segment. You can do whatever you want.
Number 2 is Manny Randazzo.
Okay.
Is wonderful. It's moist.
I do love Randazzo.
And I love moist. Anything.
Yeah. When it's moist, it's great.
It's girthy. I love girth. And it's the perfect blend of sugar, icing, and dough. Manny does a heck of a job there.
It's that texture in your mouth.
I love that texture in my mouth. Okay, my number one king cake so far this year. Now, I haven't made my rounds, but my number one is Brennan's, and it's not even close right now. Like, Brennan's is blowing people out of the water. Original Brennan's king cakes got some weight to it when you pick it up. A little expensive, but worth it.
Okay.
Yeah, so Brennan's coming in at number one. Anyway, sincerely, Ryan, you're welcome.
By the way, Rouse's, best king cakes you'll find anywhere.
Shout out.
The official supermarket of the New Orleans Saints, Rouse's, and AFR. It is AFR. Stay here.
AFR.
We're brought to you by Glow Resources. You know, I tell you all the time about Glow Resources, and I tell you all the time about how they have a 93% retention rate, and that's how they judge their success is when they place their employees. When you hire them, they place their employees in your job. How long do they stay? Well, they have a 93% retention rate, which is amazing. But one of the reasons people love to work with Glow Resources, they're fun. They really are. They're great people. They're fun. Go to the office. Go talk to go to their new office, their new headquarters they're building on Perkins Road, right near Pennington. It's on Quail Oak. And walk through that and look at what the gut renovation they've done of that building. The art, they have street art on the walls in some places. They got like these giant life-size photographs of soldiers from 150 years ago for no reason, just because it's cool. It's Glow Resources. GlowResources.com.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram has $20,000 off new 23 Ram 1500 Black Widow trucks, $20,000 off new Ram 1500 trucks, and all new Bayou Automotive vehicles come with a 1 million mile warranty. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
The Windsor Senior Living Community in Mandeville, Louisiana is a beautiful, vibrant apartment community geared towards seniors. They are nestled right in the heart of Mandeville, where seniors live a more carefree lifestyle in spacious apartments with the peace of mind that comes from having a little extra help. Call the Windsor at 985-624-8040 to schedule a lunch and tour. Come see how the Windsor can be your passport to peace of mind.
Yo, Jake here from my friends over at Community Steel Company located in Gonzales, Louisiana. The local place you can turn to for all of your metal building needs. Notice I said local, not Houston, not Dallas, not Atlanta, but right here in Gonzales. Visit them at their brand new state-of-the-art website at communitysteelco.com or pick up the phone and give them a call today to answer all of your questions on your metal buildings, roofing and sheet metal, and any other steel needs you or your business need at 225-647-2020.
Happy New Year from your friends at Front to Back Boat Service. And what better way to kick off your new year than by taking your boat to the next level? Get the boat of your dreams, and that's where Front to Back comes into play. You want that spot lock trolling motor that's going to keep you right there on the water where you need to be. How about some forward-facing sonar that actually shows you the fish before you even cast? Custom stereo jobs, all of it. Sherman family's been doing it for 38 years. Go to fronttobackboatservice.com.
BRAC teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered. Gold. BRAC, your #1 park system in the nation.
Cash Money Records taking over for the 99 in the 2000s. Girl, you working with my back, yeah. This fat, yeah. Make it roll to spin this cash, yeah. This last, yeah. Girls brown.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Don Juan Cigar Bar.
Oh, speaking of Don Juan Cigar Bar, hey, what do you think? I need some feedback here. So if you're just joining us, we've chronicled this throughout the year. Ocho Cinco and I had a Derek Carr bet, and Ocho lost. I won. He's got to come to Baton Rouge to host this show with me. And hit him up on Twitter today. He's like, I'm in. I'll fly into Baton Rouge after I shoot inside the NFL next week. So Ocho, we're going to work out details, but the plan is he'll be in Baton Rouge next week to do this show with me. And so I'm trying to decide, and I guess it sort of depends on the day as well. Do we do it in studio or do we go on remote so people can come out? And if we go on remote, where do we go? I mean, we're brought to you by Don Juan Cigar Bar. My thought was, like, let's go to Don Juan because Ocho also has his cigar brand, 85 cigars. So it was like, and one of the things was like, if I lost, I was going to do a remote at Don Juan. I was going to buy a whole mess of his cigars and then just give them out to people as they came, and just do a big promotion for his cigar brand, which I'll do anyway. I mean, the guy's going to fly here and do the show.
That's
of
big
course
of
I'll
him.
do that.
Shout
I mean,
out.
that's incredible.
No, that's really cool.
Well, that creepy a-hole from a few years ago won't even give me $500. You want to talk about the real measure of a man? How about that? Oh, yeah. That dude ran away, wouldn't even give me the $500.
Don't say
he owes
his
me.
name.
I'm not.
Yeah.
But Chad Johnson, who's going to the Hall of Fame, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
Is going to fly down here to do my show because he lost a bet with someone he never met on Twitter. I mean, can we talk about your integrity? That's integrity.
That's integrity.
Shout out, Ocho. So I'm gonna hook him up, man.
You should.
We're gonna hook him up. We'll get him a car. I mean, we got hotel connections, of course. Watermark, Renaissance. We'll get him hooked up.
What day?
We
don't know yet.
So he said he'd fly in after he shot inside the NFL. So maybe fly in on Wednesday, do the show Thursday or Friday is what he sent me. So we'll see. I don't know yet.
Very cool. Okay, I like that. I love that.
All right. I'm really excited. So what do y'all let me know what y'all think we should do? I mean, and the thing I guess is if we do it in studio, it's a little more controlled, right? Controlled environment. But if you do it on remote, it'd be cool. People can come out. Then we could, if we do it at Don Juan or somewhere, then we could smoke his cigars during the show as well, which would also be cool.
Smoking cigars is cool.
Like on the show would be real fun.
Smoking pipes is cool too, though. No.
Have you gotten your pipe yet?
Not yet.
Put that in your pipe and smoke it.
Stick that in your pipe and smoke it.
Yeah. If you like pipes instead of cigars, you know what you can do? Kick rocks.
It's time to Kick Rocks with Ryan Theriot.
Kick rocks.
Presented by Ruckus. Kick Rocks with shoes from Ruckus. Jones Creek Road in Baton Rouge. Or go to ruckus103.com.
Tom Brady can kick rocks. That's a standing kick rocks, but this one's
a perpetual kick rock.
Kick Rocks.
Did you prepare?
Yeah. Okay, you can kick rocks for being a middle midget.
Kick rocks.
Costing your team 4 points.
They can kick a whole bag of rocks for that.
Get on down the road and kick rocks.
The greatest NFL coach of all time can't get a job.
Weird, right?
The fact that Bill Belichick is not an NFL head coach right now can kick rocks.
Kick rocks.
Really?
Yeah. I don't think he's too old. I get it. He had but I mean, how long are they going to stay there anyway? I think he's got 5, 6, 7 good years left to go coach. But yet you're seeing, I don't know, is it 3 or 4, first-time head coaches, assistants getting jobs, and Bill Belichick's still kind of just sitting on the sidelines. I think he's proven that if you give him a quarterback really good, that he can win. There are quarterbacks out there that are really good right now, and the coaches aren't very good. The fact that he can't get a job is not coaching right now. Kick rocks.
Kick rocks.
I like Bill Belichick.
Okay.
Well, what an atmosphere last night at the PMAC.
Yeah. Did you go?
No, I was speaking at the Centerville Academy first pitch banquet.
Okay.
Up in Centerville, Mississippi. Shout out, Centerville Tigers.
Doing a little recruiting job up there, maybe?
Maybe. They got a couple arms that could help Dunham. But Jonna and the kids...
I was more talking about Tigers.
Oh. Well, yeah. I mean, it's the Dunham Tigers.
No. The LSU Tigers.
Jonna and the kids went. So I was getting live updates. Kim came out dressed beautifully. I loved the jacket, Coca-Cola shout-out, whole deal. That was awesome. And I want to tell Dawn Staley to kick rocks for wearing a hoodie.
Yeah,
on
that was a
national
little weird.
TV.
Hoodie and sweatpants?
Hoodie and sweatpants on nationally televised game, and I think it was like a subtle dig at Kim, like I'm not going to dress up.
Do you think so?
I do, because I think that's
that's
her.
what Dawn wears all the time.
Yeah, but I think
that's what Dawn wears all the time.
I don't like that.
Okay, you
I'm
don't
gonna,
have to like
and I don't
it,
like
but-
her. So I'm going to think that it was that. I think she always has like little backwards compliments and just
Well,
like
the worst
backhanded,
thing she did was when they won here 2 years ago, and she said the whole thing about, well, if they had given Nikki Fargas that type of support, which is just so stupid because you gave Nikki Fargas a decade and she was lazy and quit recruiting, and like that was atrocious. But the atmosphere, kick rocks to Dawn Staley for that. But the atmosphere last night was awesome. Big hug to the LSU fans who showed up, were loud. The guy Casey McKenzie, who, if you remember during the Brady Ball era, Casey was the guy who had the cutout basketball on his head.
Okay.
You know what I'm talking about?
I know Casey. I didn't know he put a basketball on his head.
Well, I had lunch with him today, and there's like a legit case to be made that aside from maybe the broadcasters, that guy has attended more LSU basketball games in the last 25 years than literally anybody.
Oh, wow.
I mean, went to every game. He was there last night. Said it's the best environment he's ever seen, ever. Like start to finish, full throat the whole time. Best he's ever seen. Pretty incredible.
So I would like to give a hug to all those that participated and went out and provided that environment. Women's basketball here at LSU. I know Kim and the crew are holding up their end of the bargain and playing a great brand of basketball, but I don't think that happens without the support. 13,000 plus packed into that place. There at resale tickets are going for $1,000 plus for a women's basketball game midweek. I mean, that's unheard of.
Look at that jacket. So good.
Oh, the jacket's fire. Yeah. Shout out to everybody. Give a hug to everybody that attended that game. It was a great game. I mean, it really was a good game. I think a few breaks, one way or the other, and LSU's right there. So they should take a lot of good vibes away from that. South Carolina's good, man.
That it?
That's it.
I have one. And I hate to do it, but
do it.
I got to tell Elle Duncan to kick rocks.
Oh yes.
And I
Kick
hate.
rocks. Why do you hate to do that?
Because I like Elle Duncan a lot. I think
Really?
she's really good.
Okay.
Yeah. No, I think Elle Duncan is super talented. She's a Georgia girl, so there's a little, SEC sort of thing. But I think Elle is super talented. And I once heard it was when Le Batard was still on ESPN's daily lineup, and Le Batard was out, and Elle Duncan and Matt Berry filled in. And I've listened to a lot of radio in my life, right? Like I just professionally, a lot in a lot of different places. I tweeted at them. I was like, did ESPN accidentally find the best show they've never aired? Those two are awesome radio together, which is hard to find in a tandem chemistry, and they were great.
Yeah.
But if you missed it, so on College Game Day yesterday from the Maravich Center, Holly Rose shows up and has a king cake, and so they start to cut the king cake. There's a knife which is sheathed, and there's forks, and then Elle Duncan jumps over and just starts mutilating this king cake with her fork, looking for the baby.
What is she doing?
She is she just started digging her fork and scraping the entire thing, frantically looking for the king cake. And then I think everyone else was starting to cut a slice, and then they realized she was doing that, so they all just sort of, I guess, joined in. By the way, Elle, if you're trying to find the baby, just lift up the king cake and look at the bottom. You can see where they shoved it in.
Does she not know that means she has to bring the next one?
I don't think she thought of it or cared, but that was
that was not good.
It was really a very not good look. And again, I hate to do it because I love Elle Duncan. I think she's fantastic. But that was, man, take it easy a little bit. It just felt like attention seeking, drastic attention seeking.
That's exactly what that was.
Could see that from a mile away. You want to know how?
No, I would like to know how.
Because I went to the Williamson Eye Center and got LASIK. That's how I could see it from a mile away.
Nice. That was good.
How about that transition? Huh?
Pro.
WilliamsonEye.com, EYE, WilliamsonEye.com. You can call 924-2020, 924-2020. So the Williamson Eye Center, the crew went to Dallas last week, and they were there for an awards banquet. And they were named an Evo ICL, a National Center of Distinction.
Nice.
Evo ICL is the implantable contact lens. It's an alternative to LASIK. It's a reversible procedure. They put the implantable contact lens in, and then they can take it out eventually. But they won a Practice of Distinction award at the Star Surgical Awards banquet last week in Dallas. So you're talking about some of the best ophthalmology clinics in the country, and Williamson-Eisen are right here in Baton Rouge, is beating them all. Dr. Blake Williamson, he's the best. 924-2020. 924-2020 or williamsoni.com. All right, Terio's here. We'll talk some LSU baseball in 30 minutes from right now to start hour number 3. Jay Johnson met with reporters earlier today. It was LSU Baseball Media Day, kicking off preseason workouts. LSU's less than a month away from the season opener. We're excited about it. So every Friday when Terio's here, we'll take a different group that we'll talk about. Today we'll do starting pitching. We'll talk relievers, we'll talk infielders, we'll talk outfielders, we'll talk offense. So we'll do all that with Theriot here over the next 3 weeks as we build toward the season opener with LSU baseball out at the box. So we'll do that starting in about 30 minutes from right now. Let me knock out a break, come back. Got to get your take on the Kayshon Boutte situation. And the LSU basketball squad dropped a tough one this week. They're heading to Alabama tomorrow. They never really do well there.
I watched that game. They played pretty good, though.
Yeah, they're just not great. That's okay. It's just, you got to acknowledge what they are. Right? We'll get to it. It's AFR.
AFR.
Well, we finally thawed out, and then the rains came. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Oh, it's raining.
But it's still a great time to get by Clegg's Nursery because you got to plant those trees. If you've been thinking about putting a tree in the ground, right? A fruit tree, for example. Let's say you want to get like a tangerine tree and plant it on your property and let it grow for generations of your family in the future to enjoy.
Okay.
Right?
All right.
Well, this is the time of year when you plant trees and shrubs, fruit trees. So you can go get Johnny Naylor seeds, or they got shipments arriving daily. Their greenhouses stay full. Don't think just because it's January, there's nothing going on. No, this is the time to plant trees and shrubs. So get them in the ground now. Clegg's has the best selection, the most knowledgeable staff, and all the accessories you need. It's 4 locations of Clegg's Nursery in the greater Baton Rouge area. Buy local, shop local, tell them Matt sent you to Clegg's Nursery.
Bayou Ford is taking $10,000 off MSRP on new 23 Ford F-150 lifted trucks. $10,000 off new Ford F-150 and 3.9% financing. All new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million mile warranty. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
When it comes to ending cancer, we push forward, always working together for you. That's why our cancer experts at Ochsner have clinically integrated with MD Anderson Cancer Center. This means advanced cancer care, including access to life-saving clinical trials and integrating care to treat the whole you. Introducing Ochsner MD Anderson Cancer Center. Long live you.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs. Even in the case of an after-hours emergency, the light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
At Relief Windows, we're more than windows. We're windows, doors, party plank, and vinyl siding. But our #1 product is always customer satisfaction. Visit us.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Don Juan Cigar Bar.
How about the Choppa style Mardi Gras Mambo? Do you love that?
I love Choppa.
Do you love Choppa as much as you love Alpha Customs?
Oh, man. No, probably not. Choppa's good, but Alpha's better. Couple locations for Alpha Customs, Baton Rouge and Prairieville over here on Airline Highway. You got one in Lafayette. Also,
shout out Lafayette.
Yeah, no, it's a good
shout
spot
out
over
ESPN
there.
1037 in Lafayette.
It is. Bring your whip in there. Get your new tires and you can do that too. But get your new tires and rims and lift and tent and truck bed covers and everything that's the whip in the name. But everything you need to customize your vehicle, they got them at Alpha Customs. The cool thing is, not an intimidating atmosphere when you walk in. The guys are super helpful and ready to get you looking good. So go check them out at Alpha Customs.
What's that web address?
alphacustoms.net.
Did you lift it?
Duh. Everybody hates that.
What else did you do?
But they remember
everybody,
it. Tell me
everybody remember that spot.
It. Everybody remembers it. They do.
Did you get a new truck?
Yeah.
Did you lift it?
Duh.
Where'd you get it done?
Alpha Customs.
Take the boy out of Broadmoor. Can't take Broadmoor out the boy.
It's such a hard one to do, too. It took us so many takes to get it right.
No, it didn't.
I know. I'm joking.
No, I was about to say. I just kept asking you questions. We just deadpanned the whole thing and they edited it together.
So stupid.
Well, there was an original spot. So for those that don't know how that works, normally when a client comes, we're talking about. Can you pull that up? You pull it and share it. I'm sure you can find it. For those that have the 3 of you that haven't heard this spot as of now, there's an Alpha Customs commercial that runs. Well, in conjunction with their sponsorship of this hour, they get a recorded schedule spot bank as well. And so they asked Theriot to record it. And by the way, I don't get paid by Alpha Customs. Theriot endorses them. I do not. So my voice on there is really just a courtesy. But
thank you.
You're welcome.
You're the man.
But so I have no skin in the game here whatsoever. That's your client,
That's
not
me.
mine.
My guys.
But I was trying to help Michelle, our account executive, who does an amazing job. It's her client, and she sold it, and they needed to get a spot done. And you're not here all the time, and so they were just like, "Oh, just do a spot." And so I wrote something for you, or maybe they wrote something.
Yeah,
it was just a very generic.
It was a read
for all of your car needs. It was just the generic.
Yeah.
And
not memorable at all.
But you did it. They didn't like it, and I'm like, well, you didn't give us a script, and if you don't give us a script or an idea, then
that's what you get.
It's like whatever. So then that was my idea. It was all right. Hit it, Muse. Just for. Did you get a new truck?
Yeah.
Did you lift it?
Duh.
You can take the boy out of Broadmoor. You can take the Broadmoor out the boy. Everybody's heard it. So, so one day after we did this on a Friday, I was like, they want a news, so just follow my lead. And so then we just did that.
Yeah.
Just did total deadpan Q&A, just you and me being you and me. And they put a music bed, edited together, put a music bed under, and that was that. That's the spot.
Yeah. And I once a week, I'll get a text from one of my buddies like, "Are you serious with that commercial?"
Did you lift it? Oh man, I wish I liked the things Alpha Customs sold, because then I could go there and be like, "Hey, you guys kind of owe me one, right?"
Yeah, because it's good. Because, I mean, more people
my
will
voice
remember
on the
that.
spot, too.
Yeah, they remember it.
I know. You're welcome.
It's good.
Alpha Customs. You're welcome.
.net.
I wanted to get your take on the Kayshon Boutte story. First, so for those who haven't heard, Kayshon got arrested yesterday while he was a student at LSU and underage. He had a mobile betting account where he used an alias. And apparently he used, I think, his mom's name, but his screen name was like Kayshon Boutte 7, according to the indictment. It's like,
come on, bro.
Who did you think you were kidding? I mean, if Pete Rose had mobile betting back in the in the 90s, would it have been like Charlie Hustle 14? I mean, what are you doing? Who do you think you're kidding?
So he opened an account, which he wasn't old enough to do.
Wasn't old enough to do. So he used an alias. He placed like almost 9,000 bets in less than a year's time.
Wow.
Dude was betting on everything.
Everything. But his screen name was his actual name and his number.
Yeah. According to the police documents.
Oh, my God.
I know.
Look, the whole situation just really pisses me off.
See, everybody's making light. Everyone's making jokes of it. I asked you about this, like, hey, how do you want to have fun with this? And you were like, legitimately said, this actually makes you upset.
It does. It makes me angry. This is a topic that is talked about quite a bit in the clubhouse or in the locker room, from a betting standpoint. You don't do it. You don't do it. You don't do it on your sport. You definitely don't do it, on your team. And I don't know the specifics on who Kayshon was betting on or if it was on LSU games.
There were 6 LSU games he bet on. And he also bet prop bets on himself, like over receiving yards or something like that.
See, and there's no excuse. You can't say, oh, I didn't know. You knew. You were informed. To me, it's a selfish act. What if the game didn't call for you to catch that many balls? Your job was to block because somebody else was going off that game. But yet you're gonna make a decision in that game selfishly because you're trying to win your bet. It just compromises the entire game. I'm pissed off about it. I'm extremely upset at him and any of the players that choose to do that. You're compromising your teammates and the game itself. So look, yeah, it's whatever. I mean, it could be funny, I guess, but from a former player standpoint, man, it just kind of pisses me off. I mean, and from a fan standpoint as well. You look at some of the games that he had, and I mean, there were games where he had wonderful games and went off, and then there were games where he just disappeared. Well, why did he go off that game? Why did he disappear this game? Now we can say maybe there was another factor.
It does call that into question. Like, with this knowledge, it does open the door to that question. I don't know. I'd like to think that he wasn't tanking games or throwing anything, but it's fair to ask the question. But I'm interested. You said, like, guys in the locker room, like, advise against this, but you've told me a million times. Card games, bet, all this stuff. Like, you've told the story here about racing Derek Lee for his car. Yeah. I mean, y'all bet on stuff all the time. Yeah. So why wouldn't I, a fan who's never been in a college or pro locker room, why wouldn't I as a fan think, well, of course they're betting on sports as well? Well, like Kayshon Boutte I guarantee he's not the only college football player that's betting on college football when he's apps.
Right. No, you're right. It was a rarity to walk into a major league clubhouse and not see a card game going on, with of course they're betting. Like, they're not playing just for fun. Just because of the nature of the dude in there, the competitive nature of that person, you're not doing anything for fun. You're trying to win. And so, yes, there's fantasy football boards. There's NCAA brackets going on that are ridiculous. I mean, you're betting on everything, but the coaches or the powers that be are intentional in their message. You cannot bet. It is illegal to bet on this sport in baseball. There's signs everywhere. Like, you can't say, oh, I didn't know. Like, that's not a thing. But
I wonder, like, this was in late 2021. So this would have been, Kayshon has the injury, right? And then, into 22, from like early 22 into 23. So, like, he's trying to overcome the injury. He's away from the team. You know what I mean? Like, Brian Kelly had to work to get him back in the fold.
I got a problem with that, but yeah.
No, okay, that's fine. But I guess how much, like, when sports betting went live, did I don't know that LSU brought everybody in or these schools brought all their players in to say, look, you can't do this. I'm sure there was some education, but I have no idea.
Yeah, no, I don't know if they did or they didn't. I can just speak from my experience on the professional side that it was a major talking point at all times. Shame on a school if they didn't educate their athletes on what could happen if they didn't do this, because you've got, I don't know how many apps and websites right at the kids' disposal. So you do. I mean, you have to educate them. And I get it. Kids are going to make mistakes. 18, 19, 20, 21-year-old kids are going to make mistakes. Not 9,000 mistakes.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
It was a habitual behavior.
That's right.
When you're betting 89, I mean, we have Jimmy on here. We have Otterlocks. We endorse DraftKings. I sports bet every day.
Sure.
I bet on something every day. But like, I know I have the amount of money in my account, and I adjust my wagers based if I'm winning or losing, and that's it. Like, I'm not.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I get that people have problems, but so you know, I sports bet, and I sports bet every day. I just opened my app because I want to see how many bets I've placed since I've downloaded the DraftKings app. I guarantee you, in the 2+ years that we've endorsed DraftKings here, I haven't placed 9,000 bets cumulatively over 2+ years.
Let's assume each bet was $1. $9,000.
Yeah, but you're winning and losing, right?
Okay.
So like you still have that in your account. If you win, then you're up, and you could be playing with with house money, so to speak.
That's still a lot of money going around.
For sure.
I mean,
All right. It's an interesting take. I think the biggest question people here have been is LSU potentially going to get in trouble for this? Could LSU be liable to get in trouble? And I don't know the answer to that.
I don't see.
I don't think so either.
Yeah.
But these are criminal proceedings against Kayshon Boutte. This was illegal behavior. This isn't a civil proceeding. These are criminal proceedings. He was arrested.
Yeah.
So, but I don't. From the report, an LSU released a statement saying they have cooperated fully, but I don't know what LSU could possibly be liable for.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, not in a legal sense, but maybe from the NCAA standpoint. We'll wait and see how that all might play out. All right, brought to you by South Point Volkswagen and SouthPointVW.com. New and certified pre-owned in Baton Rouge and online at SouthPointVW.com. Always have a great experience over at South Point. Gosh, we've bought and leased so many cars over a decade plus from South Point. And whichever make, whichever model that you're in the market for. If you need the sedan, the compact SUV, the Atlas, which is the full-sized SUV. I drive the Crossport, which is takes out that third row. They have something for you over at South Point Volkswagen, Louisiana's largest volume Volkswagen dealer, where you get the style, the feel, the performance of luxury, the great German engineering, and it's manufactured right here in the U.S. of A. at their Chattanooga, Tennessee plant. South Point Volkswagen. Airline just north of Highland. Go test drive one today. Shop them online, then go test drive. Every vehicle, if it's on the lot, it's online there at SouthPointVW.com. South Point Volkswagen, what's your direction? Okay, we will wrap up hour number 2 when we come back. Do a little Ask Ryan. So we've got questions for Theriot. Fire away. Ask Theriot anything about anything. And then we'll get to our LSU baseball preview with Theriot here in about 15 minutes from right now. Stick around. It's AFR.
AFR.
Action Industries, an official partner of LSU baseball. They'll be sponsoring the mound visits this year. Action Industries, been around since 1982, as long as I've been born. And I'm going to start to be able to share a lot of testimonials. And one of the largest chemical manufacturing companies in the world that Action recently did work for sent a thank you note to Todd over there at Action Industries. And said, I want to take a minute to thank you and your team for your dedication and commitment to being successful through all the projects on site thus far that I've been a part of. I've worked on site of each of you and could say by far it has been a pleasure to work with such a talented and outstanding team. Y'all have really set the bar on quality, safety, and getting work done efficiently. How about that? One of the largest chemical manufacturing companies in the world sending that thank you note to Action Industries. They're local. They have local employees. Check them out today. It's Action Industries.
Follow us on Twitter at 1045ESPN to cast your vote in the Citizens Bank and Trust poll of the day. Vote daily inside Off the Bench, live at lunch on Palmer. And after further review, Citizens Bank and Trust brings you the poll of the day via Twitter at 1045ESPN.
It was a humid day, barefoot children play, looking for that summer shade. Time just slips away.
planet deep inside of me.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. For years, you've heard me tell you about Insurance Network of Louisiana, helping you find better coverage for less money. But it's not just for your home and auto. They also offer commercial property. So, retail stores, professional offices like doctors, dentists, attorneys, clothing boutiques. Insurance Network of Louisiana can find you better coverage for less money. They service the entire state of Louisiana, and they're local. So call today at 293-0450 or lainsurance.net.
Yo, Jake here from my friends over at Community Steel Company located in Gonzales, Louisiana. The local place you can turn to for all of your metal building needs. Notice I said local, not Houston, not Dallas, not Atlanta, but right here in Gonzales. Visit them at their brand new state-of-the-art website at communitysteelco.com or pick up the phone and give them a call today to answer all of your questions on your metal buildings, roofing and sheet metal, and any other steel needs you or your business need at 225-647-2020.
Happy New Year from your friends at Front to Back Boat Service. And what better way to kick off your new year than by taking your boat to the next level? Get the boat of your dreams, and that's where Front to Back comes into play. You want that spot lock trolling motor that's going to keep you right there on the water where you need to be. How about some forward-facing sonar that actually shows you the fish before you even cast? Custom stereo jobs, all of it. Sherman family's been doing it for 38 years. Go to fronttobackboatservice.com.
Breck teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered. Gold. Breck, your #1 park system in the nation.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Don Juan Cigar Bar.
All right, wrapping up hour number 2. Glad you're with us. We get to ask Ryan. Got a question for Theriot. Fire away. You can email us. You could tweet us. You could text us in the 225-396-4400, 396-4400.
AFR.
Brought to you by Michelli Weighing and Measurement. Some of my friends over at ESPN 1037 in Lafayette love to send me different phonetic spellings of Michelli, like Miss Shelley, weighing measurement, stuff like that. No. Michelli Weighing and Measurement. Michelli. Michelli Weighing and Measurement. At Michelli, they like to say, we show the world what measurement can do. 76 years in business. I love that about them.
That's a lot of years in business.
But not only that, but to be locally owned and operated for 76 years, to have grown your footprint nationally, 30 offices across 11 states, and they're continuing to look toward expansion, toward international expansion eventually. I love that. They've maintained their local roots. They've continued to branch out nationally. ISO 17025 accreditation. If you weigh or measure something, they sell, service, and rent the products you need to weigh and measure. It's Michelli Weighing and Measurement.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs. Even in the case of an after-hours emergency, the light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. Ravens ready to welcome back tight end Mark Andrews. He's been activated off injured reserve, giving quarterback Lamar Jackson back his favorite target for the AFC Championship game Sunday versus Kansas City. In the 7 games Andrews missed with an ankle injury, Baltimore's offense didn't really miss a beat thanks to second-year tight end Isaiah Likely stepping up, and the two of them could cause headaches for KC. ESPN NFL analyst Ryan Clark.
Now you can have Isaiah Likely on the field and Mark Andrews, which allows you to be bigger on the line, but there are also problems in the pass game. And so if you go with your bigger linebackers and people, they're going to get beat on the outside.
Chiefs running back Isaiah Pacheco and linebacker Willie Gay questionable on Sunday. Guard Joe Thuney is out. 49ers receiver Deebo Samuel no longer on the injury report, so he'll play against the Lions in the NFC title game Sunday night. NBA Mavericks will be without guard Kyrie Irving a second straight game tonight against the Hawks because of a sprained thumb. Atlanta guard Trae Young is available after passing concussion protocol. He's been out the last 2 games. Lakers forward Cam Reddish dealing with an ankle sprain, sidelined at least the next 2 weeks.
ESPN Radio is presented by Progressive Commercial Insurance. It flexes to fit your business's needs. From quick repairs to adjustable coverages and even payment options, Progressive Commercial makes it easy to get what you need. Quote today in as little as 6 minutes at progressivecommercial.com.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge Studios.
Let's ride. You can't handle the
Riot Radio Hour.
Let's do that again. Guess who's back? Back again.
Lisa, I want some more.
The Riot Radio Hour, presented by ProCharge EV. Call 225-397-4593 or go to ProChargeEV.com.
Well, let's start the insanity. Giddy up. Let me find out that
Hour
it's a
3
real
off we
booty
go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. AFR presented by Don Juan Cigar Bar and Matt.
This is Shaq O'Neal, and I hate Matt.
Paul O'Neal.
They're chanting Paul O'Neal's name.
Muso. We're here. Glad you are as well. 5 o'clock quitting time. Glad you're driving home with us. All right. Jay Johnson met with reporters today to kick off LSU baseball. It was LSU Baseball Media Day. And the Tigers hit the practice field today for the first time as they embark upon their defense of their national championship. I am really interested in this team. You went to First Pitch Banquet this past Sunday. Mm-hmm. I've had people say to me, I'll just tee this up for you, and you can, as they say, tee it high, let it fly, that this team, top to bottom, more talented than a year ago. Thoughts?
I think that's a stretch. She had the first 2 picks in the draft. So, you've got 2 generational type players on the team last year. You've got some guys that have a whole lot of potential, not proven. There's not a Dylan Cruz type bat. Tommy White put up some great numbers. But how much of that, last year before, how much that benefited from the guys that were around him, we'll see. So talent wise, I don't know yet. Talent's one thing, producing on the field's another.
For sure. But if you go 1 to 40 this year as opposed to last year, you don't have, obviously, you don't have a Dylan Cruz on this team. Right. You don't have Paul. You won't have another Paul Skeens. If you go Ben McDonald, Paul Skeens, you're not going to have another one for 35 years.
Fair.
So I get that, but I'm just going 1 to 40.
Yeah, I mean,
That's not my opinion, by the way. I haven't seen this team play.
No, there's
just people that I trust that have said, 1 to 40, there's more talent on this one than there was a year ago.
This is the deepest pitching staff I think LSU's probably ever fielded. If you look at analytics, if you look at all the data that's able to be gathered now, the guys down there in the bullpen that Nate's got to play with are special. I mean, you've got some real arms. The Friday night guy could be one of 3 dudes. I mean, I think we're looking at 3 first-round picks that LSU's going to run out there on the weekends.
So, but that's kind of the point, though,
Yeah,
right? Because
yeah.
a year ago, it took you all season to find your rotation.
Well, Hurd had to figure some things out, and I think you're going to have some of that
Floyd
this year
was up
too.
and
Though
down.
I think
Yeah.
you'll have some of that this year, where there'll be some movement there. But I think it's not going to be because guys aren't good enough. I think it's kind of you've just got so many good arms. I mean, look, we're talking a midweek guy, and is it Cam Johnson? The midweek, he's up to 98 with
6'5", 240, 100 from the left side.
This kid is just a special player, and in 2 years, his junior year, we're going to be talking about a top 5 type pick. Where most, and he's not going to pitch on the weekends probably, So yeah, there is a ton of talent, especially on the pitching side.
What do you think? And so we're going to split this up a little bit, and we did this last year. For those just joining us, I mentioned it earlier. We did this last year. A lot of you liked it, so you requested we do it again. So we'll do it. Every week, Theriot will take sort of a different sort of unit on the field. So today we'll talk about starting pitching. We'll talk relievers. We'll talk infield. We'll talk outfield over the next month as we lead up, the next 3 weeks as we lead up to the to opening night at the box, or opening afternoon at the box. And so in about 10 minutes from right now, we'll talk about the starting pitching. But I do want your perspective, because you did. So you were in 2000, you all won the national championship, which was your sophomore year, and then you came back as a junior in 01. So you know what it's like for a lot of these guys that were on the championship team, what it's like. So how does the offseason change, or does it, whenever you win the national championship and now you're coming back?
Well, generally when you win a championship, you got a lot of guys that are older or that are going to be drafted pretty high. I mean, it means your team's pretty good. I'm watching the LSU women's game last night, and I think there was a point where Flage was the only girl that was on the court from the national championship team last year. They had substitutions. I mean, that's not in my mind a defending national championship team. That's a totally different group of players. And so we talked about a few of the guys a few minutes ago that are gone. This team's got a different identity. I mean, so defending the national title or a bunch of guys coming back, it's not necessarily the case. This is a new year and it's a new team. You lost your first baseman who had been there for 400 years. You lost your second baseman who'd been there for 400 years. You lost your shortstop. You lost your center fielder who was the best player on the planet. You lost your left fielder, and you lost your right fielder. And you'll probably have a new catcher that'll be catching the bulk of the innings this year. So to me, it's a different team.
What about playing through the season as the defending champion? And I understand what you're saying, but I can also run through this list and find a lot of guys that were on the team that are going to be contributors. If it's Travinsky or Milazzo or Brady Neal be coming back off an injury. I mean, there's a lot of guys where we just talked about the pitchers as well. Pearson will be back out there. There's a lot of guys that were there. Now there's going to be new guys, but what about for those guys that were? Like, do you remember 01? Like, were you chasing that year?
Yeah, I remember 01 just feeling frustrated. I felt like we had such a good team in 2000 from a chemistry standpoint, and I felt like in 01 we were more talented. I mean, that could be argued. You've got Brian Wilson, who's obviously a great player. You had a transfer that came in from Washington, Todd Linden, who's a great player.
Brought in Zeph Zinsman that year as well.
It
was Skip's last year, so it was like, we're going to get one more.
And we went and got him.
Yeah.
And we stunk, and it was like, so it was just a different, I remember 01 just feeling kind of frustrated because we were so talented. Aaron Hill's on that team. Mike Fontenot's on that team. You got a lot of major leaguers, and we just couldn't get over the hump. So, I mean, it was a frustrating year. To try to mimic or replicate what happened last year for this LSU team is going to be impossible, and that they should not do that.
Do you think they have leadership on this team?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I think you've got some guys. Alex Milazzo is a wonderful leader, and I've known the kid for a long time, and goes about things the right way, both on and off the field. He's respected in the clubhouse. Hayden Travinsky, same thing. When you have your catcher that is a leader like that, that's important. That's big, because those are the guys that are the quarterback of your team. And then you're bringing back a Thatcher Hurd that I don't know the kid very well, but on the biggest stage, the biggest of stages in college baseball, showed us what he was made of.
It was awesome.
So that's got to count for something from a leadership standpoint.
Ackenhausen's back as a senior this year as well. I'm looking at the roster right here. I'm just looking by classification. Travinsky, Milazzo back as graduates. Pearson's a junior. Dutton's a junior. I'm looking at the guys that are back. Hurd, but then a lot of transfers. Tommy White's obviously back as junior.
Sure.
That probably should have been the first name I mentioned. But Braswell's a transfer. Lower's a transfer. Juniors. They're.
And the Braswell kid, I think, is a great. From all I've heard, is just he is a wonderful clubhouse guy. And leaders come in all shapes and sizes. You know what I mean? I don't care if they're new or if they're old. Paul Skeens came in as a transfer, and was that guy last year. You know, so one of those dudes is going to do it. Tommy White does a good job. One of those guys is going to have to step up.
I want to. So we're going to break and come back and talk about. We'll talk about the starting pitching, but I want to ask you also about Gavin Guidry, because Jay said today that he's going to primarily focus on pitching. And when we get to talking about the infield, we'll probably talk more about Gavin Guidry, but I do want your take on that. So we'll get to that as well when we come back. Brought to you by DraftKings, official sports betting partner of the NFL playoffs. Hey, Sunday is conference championship, AFC, NFC championship. Remember, at the DraftKings Sportsbook, if you're a new customer, download the DraftKings Sportsbook app. Use the promo code Baton Rouge. One word. Use the promo code Baton Rouge. Make a $5 bet on the NFL playoffs, and they'll give you $200 in bonus bets instantly at the DraftKings Sportsbook. So do it right now. Remember, new and existing customers get a no-sweat same-game parlay as well on on every NFL playoff game day. So there's only 2 more of those. You got Championship Sunday, and then you got the Super Bowl. So it's DraftKings, official sports betting partner of the NFL playoffs. But look, college basketball, the NBA, Pellies are back on the floor tonight. Otter just texted us. He likes the over in the Pels game tonight, so might get in a little bit on that. He likes the Pelicans and the over that game tonight. Okay. So maybe get a little action there. DraftKings has I'm looking at it right now. They got a 50% NBA boost tonight, so if you want to take advantage, do it. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app. Use the promo code Baton Rouge. DraftKings, the crown is yours. 21 plus, physically present in Louisiana. Select parishes only. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. Opt-in required. 1 no-sweat token issued per eligible day after opt-in. No-sweat bonus bet issued based on amount of losing qualifying bet. Eligibility, max reward limits, and deposit restrictions apply. Terms at sportsbook.draftkings.com/football terms. Licensee partner, Golden Nugget Lake Charles. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 1-800-426-2537. All right, it is after further review. We will get to our conference championship predictions in about 18 minutes from right now. The 4 of us here will tell you who we think is going to be playing in the Super Bowl 2 weeks from Sunday. So we'll get to that coming up at the bottom of the hour. When we come back, Tero will give us a thumbnail preview of LSU's starting pitchers as the Tigers hit the practice field today for the first time in defense of their national championship. We'll get to that next on AFR.
AFR.
All right, so when Ocho comes into town next week, should he stay at the Watermark downtown or the Renaissance Southtown right there on Bluebonnet?
I mean,
2 amazing options.
Yeah, the Renaissance, you got a great restaurant.
Tallulah. Well, the Gregory's
Gregory's
awesome too. Got a great restaurant either way.
Yeah.
It's just, do you want to be downtown?
What day?
I don't know yet. The Watermark, downtown, Baton Rouge's original high-rise building. They've maintained so much of the historical significance of that building while modernizing it as well. It's gorgeous. The lobby bar, exquisite. Great place to go have a cocktail, a glass of wine if you're downtown. Remember, if you're eating at the Gregory, it's complimentary valet parking. Some people don't like to go down there. They want to park. Pull right up to the door. Complimentary valet parking at the Watermark when you go eat at the Gregory. Or, of course, you got the Renaissance right there on Bluebonnet. Super convenient.
That's a good spot.
Access to I-10 right there. The most suites of any hotel in Baton Rouge, it's the Renaissance Hotel. You can't go wrong. The Watermark or the Renaissance Hotel.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram has $20,000 off new 23 Ram 1500 Black Widow trucks, $20,000 off new Ram 1500 trucks, and all new Bayou Automotive vehicles come with a 1 million mile warranty. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
The importance of doing this Fortified program and offering it to people down here is, number one, the only real chance you're going to get to do this is when you put on a new roof or build new. And through companies like HUDCO, who's kind of leading the way in this thing, it's going to offer the customers a huge advantage in the insurance market and the price of their insurance.
You know, we're not looking to make a fortune off fortifying. We're trying to give you a better product than our competitor at the moment. I'm trying to do something that he can. I'm trying to give you something better. So a lot of these insurance shops, you're getting a re-roof, you're only paying your deductible. Let's sit down and talk about the Fortified and let's see what it does to your insurance premium. You're getting a steal.
Yeah.
You're getting a brand new roof and a Fortified certificate for your deductible, essentially. I think we're rocking and rolling.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. For years, you've heard me tell you about Insurance Network of Louisiana, helping you find better coverage for less money. But it's not just for your home and auto. They also offer commercial property. So, retail stores, professional offices like doctors, dentists, attorneys, clothing boutiques. Insurance Network of Louisiana can find you better coverage for less money. They service the entire state of Louisiana, and they're local. So call today at 293-0450 or lainsurance.net.
Yo, Jake here from my friends over at Community Steel Company located in Gonzales, Louisiana. The local place you can turn to for all of your metal building needs. Notice I said local, not Houston, not Dallas, not Atlanta, but right here in Gonzales. Visit them at their brand new state-of-the-art website at communitysteelco.com or pick up the phone and give them a call today to answer all of your questions on your metal buildings, roofing and sheet metal, and any other steel needs you or your business need at 225-647-2020.
Happy New Year from your friends at Front to Back Boat Service. And what better way to kick off your new year than by taking your boat to the next level? Get the boat of your dreams, and that's where Front to Back comes into play. You want that spot lock trolling motor that's going to keep you right there on the water where you need to be. How about some forward-facing sonar that actually shows you the fish before you even cast? Custom stereo jobs, all of it. Sherman family's been doing it for 38 years. Go to fronttobackboatservice.com.
The best kept secret in town.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Don Juan Cigar Bar.
And Jay Johnson, when he met with reporters earlier today, was asked about Gavin Guidry, of course, from Barb. He was number one player in the state, one of the top players in the country, came to LSU, competed for a job on the infield, ended up moving to the bullpen, ended up recording the final out of the College World Series for LSU against Florida. And a lot of the thought was he'd be competing for one of those middle infield jobs this year, but apparently not, according to Jay Johnson earlier today.
He's going to mainly focus on pitching. With that being said, he's such a good athlete that when you trickle down the roster for SEC play, I have no problem putting him in to play defense, run, step up to the bat, execute something. But we're going to put the focus on pitching because I don't want to say we didn't throw him into pitching. We built him up to pitch last year, but he didn't pitch in the fall last year. And the load that he took on throughout the season, we did not have him pitch in the fall. We went back to the position player thing, and so kind of slowly built him up again. But I'm really excited for him to be able to dive in on this and this alone and see where we can get his ceiling.
Thoughts?
I would have to say that it's probably going to be the first time in his life that he's just focused on pitching. I said it last year quite a bit. And I still believe this. If you give Gavin Guidry 2 or 3, 4 more miles an hour on his fastball, he is a problem. I mean, he's a problem right now, but if I'm hitting off of him, I'm probably sitting breaking ball because I know I'm going to get one during the at-bat, and I'll have a decent chance because I'm not super concerned about the heater. But him focusing on focusing on pitching and maybe adding some velocity, I mean, this kid could pitch for the next 15, 20 years because his breaking ball is that good.
Okay. Let's talk about, and I would assume if he's focusing on pitching, and tell me if I'm wrong, that the focus would be having him in the bullpen, or do you think he's capable of extending?
Well, I don't know. All we really saw last year was the fastball and the overhand curveball. In order to be an effective starter, you're going to have to add a third pitch, which he may have. I mean, he could very well have a lights out changeup that he didn't really need because he was coming in to get a few outs. And there are some guys, Matt, that can survive on 2 pitches for once or twice around the lineup. You're not seeing starters go 7, 8, 9 innings anymore, so maybe so.
Let's talk about it's like literally the first question everybody asks. Hey, what's their weekend rotation going to be? And when I get asked that question, I think I just default to going, well, I'm sure it'll be Hurd, Holman, and Gage Jump would be the 3. Does that sound about right to you? Or
yeah, I mean, look,
you got to start somewhere.
I think
right?
Going off of last year, and you would have to say Thatcher Hurd's going to be your Friday night guy, just because of the way he finished the season. And with Hurd, mid to upper 90s with the heater, the curveball was electric, especially in Omaha in the postseason last year. We saw a big kind of change in his ability about midway through the year last year, and he just only got better and better and better and better. So assuming he continues to do that, Gage Jump, the transfer from UCLA, will be in the mix on the weekend. Yeah, I was told today that not to be surprised if he was the Friday night guy.
Okay.
That he threw the ball, so well this fall, and it's another mid-90s fastball from a lefty, who's right at 6 foot, maybe under. And why that's important is when a shorter guy, I say shorter, when an average size guy is pitching, most of these dudes are 6'4", 6'5", and they have that velocity, the ball really gets on hitters.
Mm-hmm.
And you're just not used to seeing that. 12-6 curveball. He's one of those analytics guys. Spin rate off the charts when Gage Jump throws the ball. And then
real quick, Jump was one of the guys that met with reporters earlier today. Remember, he had Tommy John, so he missed last year. But here was Gage Jump on his pitching style.
I'm a 4-pitch guy, fastball, curveball, slider, changeup. I'd like to say I'm very aggressive, and with Coach Yeski, the idea of suffocating the zone and playing to our strengths is basically putting pressure on the hitter. I'm just really happy to be pitching with the talent that we have on this team, and I'm really excited for season.
The lefty. And then go ahead. I'm sure you're going to talk about Holman next.
Yeah.
Who's the Alabama transfer?
Yeah, and look, something interesting on Holman that I found out today. So we all saw Paul Skeens, and the swing miss ratio on his slider last year was amazing. Some guys would square up his heater, but it seemed like nobody ever hit his slider. Holman actually had a better ratio swing and miss on his slider than Skeens did. So, this is a guy that's coming in that is a bona fide Friday night SEC horse. And we're sitting here talking about him maybe pitching on Sunday. So this staff has got some options on the weekend.
That's kind of the point, though, right? Like, you're at least starting from a position where you've got dudes that have been guys in weekend. Like Luke Holman was Bama's Friday guy.
Mm-hmm.
And incidentally, he was the guy, if you remember, that was scratched when LSU was playing, when Bama was playing LSU, when the coach got canned for betting on the game.
Mm-hmm.
Like, Holman was the one that got scratched and gave away the info. Anyway, but so it's interesting that he's here. It's just a weird tie. But so you got the guy that was, you have a 6'4" righty who was for Bama's Friday guy who's transferring in, and that's on top of Gage Jump and Thatcher Hurd that you mentioned. What are the other names? Chase Shores obviously shut down, right? Had tore his UCL, had Tommy John. I'm assuming Shores will miss the year.
Yeah, I wouldn't expect to see him. If we do, it'll be late, but in
a very limited role.
Yeah, I wouldn't expect to see Shores. Interesting.
I love that you came with a notepad.
Yeah, I'm in. I'm
Look at
on
him with
it.
his note. Look at my guy with his note. This is the most prepared I think you've ever been. Look at you.
No, I've been. I
didn't say you've never been prepared. I just said this is the most prepared.
So a couple interesting guys. We saw a little bit of Aiden Moffitt last year, not much. And he is what they look like. Just size, physical. He's been up to 100 miles an hour this fall. When the weather warms up, he's going to be in triple digits probably pretty often. I don't know if he figures in on the weekend from a starter standpoint, but definitely don't be surprised if you see him, midweek. Cam Johnson, the freshman too.
Aiden Moffitt is an interesting story. I remember hearing about it. He's Moffitt's a guy whose parents are both like educators. Maybe his mom's a principal at a high school. So it's like he's a guy that could have signed, but they were like very, very intent on him going to school and saying, so like that's a guy who I think you can be patient with him because he ain't going nowhere. You know what I mean? Like his parents want him here, getting a degree and working on baseball. So, but he's interesting. He's a big kid, like 6'3", 220. He didn't pitch a bunch last year. We got to see him.
Just a little bit, but electric stuff. Cam Johnson, we all heard about Cam Johnson. Turned down a ton of money. I think Jay said he was the best prospect to ever come to campus, type kid. He's been up to 98, by the way, this fall. Just from everything I heard, a top 10 draft guy in a couple years. And so I think we'll see him probably midweek. And depending on what happens, do you maybe sneak him on the weekend? And then
Cam Johnson doesn't come to campus.
No, that's weird that happened. Just like Dylan Cruz doesn't come to campus
exactly.
either.
But even still, like we've seen we saw it with Cruz. We saw it with Bregman. We've seen great position players. Guys pass on first-round money. You don't see it with pitchers, especially not a lefty that throws 100.
Right.
Like Cam Johnson was projected to be a top 10 pick in this past summer's draft.
Mm-hmm.
And he had his number, and he stuck to it. And I think this is a great illustration of, I'm sorry, I'm going to get back, but I think this is a great illustration, tell me if you agree, of how we've seen an evolution in college baseball, where a guy like him never comes to college baseball. But now you can come to college, you can fly on private planes, you can get great instruction, all the pitching lab data, everything. You can get improved, get better, play in front of 10,000 people instead of ride on a bus and playing in front of 100 people. You're playing competitive games. And then there's the NIL component of it as well. Like, he's not going to get the millions that he would have had he signed in round one, but over 3 years here, depending on what he gets, he's going to make money. He'll get paid.
I mean, all the things you said have, other than NIL, have been true ever since LSU started winning championships. You know what I'm saying? The experience was always better than minor league baseball. Trust me. Even when you're playing in the old box and Skip's taking our meal money.
Isn't it fair? Isn't it fair to say, though, that the college baseball game now more closely mirrors the professional game than when you played? You know, like the rocket launcher bats, and it was a different game. I'd say it was good or bad. It was a different game. Now the rule changes, the bat changes, the ball. Like they've made it to more mirror minor league ball, so it is more of a feeder than.
I'll say college mirrors major league ball. I don't think it mirrors minor league ball. Like this experience at LSU that their kids are going to have, there's not a minor league experience.
No, I'm sorry.
There isn't one.
I mean competitively.
That's talent-wise. Yeah.
Competitively.
Yeah.
Not the riding on the private planes and no.
Yeah.
On the field competitively.
Yeah, I mean you're seeing better players, but the people have the NIL piece has tremendously helped college baseball. I mean, tremendously. It is life-changing money in some circumstances to some people. It's not first-round draft pick money, but some of these kids are getting real dollars to come to campus, $200,000, $300,000, $400,000, $500,000 a year, plus an education, plus you're meeting lifelong friends, plus you get to experience Louisiana State University, maybe win a College World Series. So for $1.5 million, you're going to go to Baton Rouge, get better for 3 years, check all these boxes, skip A-ball, rookie ball, all that crap, go straight to AA, then get paid again. I mean, it's the right thing to do. It makes all the sense in the world. We've got a kid that's committed here, Connor Griffin, next year, who's arguably going to be maybe the first 2 or 3 picks in the draft. And, that's the sell to a kid like that would never even consider college. We would never even think that he would step foot. This kid is the best prospect I've ever seen in my life. He is Mike Trout and Bryce Harper type player over there in Jackson Prep in Mississippi. I could see a path of him coming to campus. I could. If the money lines up right and it's the right situation, I mean, it's the right move. Where, dude, 10 years ago, I would say, bro, take your money and get out of here. Don't come over here. That's the dumbest thing you could do. But that's changed.
Yeah. Anybody else? Any other pitchers you want to talk about? Yeah, go ahead.
2 guys. Cade Anderson. So really excited about Cade Anderson. We could see him on the weekend. He is a weekend guy, 3-pitch mix, big upside. He too's coming back from surgery. Louisiana guy, but so expect to see Cade Anderson. And then Justin Lohr, the transfer from Xavier.
Mm-hmm.
So he's that funky lefty that you're going to see pitch like back-to-back days, multiple innings. What was the kid last year that we just rode?
Riley Cooper.
He's the Riley Cooper. Super competitive, great leader. So he'll check that box, but really good stuff. I mean, Cooper survived off his competitiveness. This kid's got some pretty good stuff, the transfer, Justin Lohr, so I'm excited to see him.
You meant Cade Woods, the Alabama transfer?
Cade Anderson. What I got here on my notes don't lie. I don't know. I could be wrong.
We're talking about Cade Woods, yeah?
Anderson's a freshman lefty. He's a freshman lefty. Yeah.
There we go. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
From St. Paul's.
St. Paul's,
okay.
yeah.
Cade Woods is the Bama transfer.
Yeah, from Ouachita.
From Ouachita, who I remember, because I remember when he transferred here, like there was his best outing of the year, I think it was against Florida, and he struck out the side. coming out of the bullpen. So I would assume Woods will be a bullpen guy. So all right, so Anderson's a freshman lefty. He's a guy that would be in the mix for the weekend?
I don't know the weekend, but I would say midweek, similar to Cam Johnson.
Okay.
All right. Just exciting arm.
Yeah, here's his bio. 6'2", 179 freshman out of Madisonville from St. Paul's. Shout out, Brain. You got one, finally. All right, it's after further review. We're glad to have you aboard with us here. Tero will do this every Friday.
Was that good?
Very good. Shut up, bro. I appreciate you, man. So next week, we can talk bullpen, and then we'll talk infield, outfield, excuse me, as we inch closer to opening day out at the box. Tigers and VMI, 2 p.m. first pitch.
Who?
VMI.
What is that?
Virginia Military Institute.
Oh. Cool.
It's a 2 o'clock first pitch on a Friday.
Okay. Why are they doing that?
Jay wants to make sure they get the game in. It's cold. You're there in the sunlight instead of, dark at the box, the wind blowing in and all that stuff.
Okay. Cool. I'm not going to that.
You're going to come here?
Yeah, I'll be here.
Oh, good. Yeah. I was wondering. A little nervous. Muse is not going to be here.
Absolutely not.
I know. All right. Conference championship games this weekend. I'm dusting you losers right now in our playoff picks.
Oh, yeah.
You got ground to make up here. 2 games to go on Sunday. We'll pick them next. It's AFR.
AFR.
Brought to you by Rouse's, the official supermarket of the New Orleans Saints. Rouse's.com. Rouse's.com. Rouse's. Tell you every day, this feels like home. You can download the Rouse's app. Shout out Rouse's. The newest location in Lafayette opened up on Camellia Boulevard. That was yesterday. So that's store number 69. Number 68 was just down the road from us, Florida Boulevard in Baton Rouge. But they're not stopping. Rouse's continues to grow, continues to expand their footprint from Lake Charles all the way to Orange Beach, Alabama. Rouse's.com. Remember,
69th store?
Yesterday was the 69th store that opened up on Camellia Boulevard in Lafayette. You can get your king cakes there, and you know what? They will ship king cakes all over the world, too. So if you're interested in king cakes, you go to Rouse's.com. You see the link where you can ship your king cakes. So if you got family members or friends, you want to give them a little taste of home while they're out of state this carnival season, you can ship your king cakes anywhere in the world. Rouse's can help. Rouse's.com. Rouse's.com. Rouse's. It feels like home. Hey, it's Matt Moscona. For years, you've heard me tell you about Insurance Network of Louisiana, helping you find better coverage for less money. But it's not just for your home and auto. They also offer commercial property. So, retail stores, professional offices like doctors, dentists, attorneys, clothing boutiques. Insurance Network of Louisiana can find you better coverage for less money. They service the entire state of Louisiana, and they're local. So call today at 293-0450 or lainsurance.net.
BRAC teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered. Gold. BRAC, your #1 park system in the nation.
Bayou Ford is taking $10,000 off MSRP on new 23 Ford F-150 lifted trucks. $10,000 off new Ford F-150 and 3.9% financing. All new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million-mile warranty. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
The Windsor Senior Living Community in Mandeville, Louisiana is a beautiful, vibrant apartment community geared towards seniors. They are nestled right in the heart of Mandeville, where seniors live a more carefree lifestyle in spacious apartments with the peace of mind that comes from having a little extra help. Call the Windsor at 985-624-8040 to schedule a lunch and tour. Come see how the Windsor can be your passport to peace of mind.
Electricity is all around us,
and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs. Even in the case of an after-hours emergency, the light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
At Relief Windows, we're more than windows. We're windows, doors, hardy plank, and vinyl siding. But our number one product is always customer satisfaction. Visit us online.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Don Juan Cigar Bar.
All right, it's conference championship weekend. 2 games to decide who is headed to the Super Bowl. Muse, give me some NFL football music here as we get to our conference championship game previews. We'll start in the American Football Conference. The top seed Baltimore Ravens welcoming in the defending champion Kansas City Chiefs. Lamar Jackson, the odds-on favorite to be this year's most valuable player. Lamar Jackson gets to compete against Patrick Mahomes. Here's what the quarterback had to say.
I don't like competing against him at all. But yeah, I mean, he's a great quarterback. Definitely a Hall of Famer. It's not even, it's a no-brainer. He's definitely a Hall of Famer. But it's just, I believe it's just 2 greats, up-and-coming greats, just going toe-to-toe. You know, like a heavyweight fight, heavyweight matchup. That's just what I see.
All right. Paulie, so far through the wild card and divisional rounds, what are our records?
So we have Matt at 7-3.
Which Matt?
Matt Moscona.
Got it. 7-3. Got it.
Theriot went 0 for last week with a no-show. So he's at 4-6.
Wow, you hate to see it.
Oh, because I didn't come, or did I just pick the wrong games?
Talk to Paul. I didn't do this. He did this.
Oh. It was because I didn't come?
I guess.
Okay.
I didn't decide this.
That's fine.
We can just scratch you off the list. I don't
that's
care.
Fine, that's fine.
It's your fault. You didn't show up last week.
Yeah.
All right, so Musso, while picking all of his games, is 4-6.
It's been rough, man. Hey, it's been rough. I've taken some chances.
Yeah, you got the same record as Musso, and you didn't even pick last week.
Thought I was going to be pulling up the rear.
Muse, you stink.
Oh, yeah, so it was 4, 2-4, and 2-2. Yeah. How about that?
Wally, what are you?
And I'm not far behind. I'm at 5-5.
Okay, so I'm 7-3. Paul's 5-5, and you 2 losers are 4-6. Although Musso really is bringing up the rear.
It's been rough.
Because Theriot didn't even pick last week. Paul threw bagels on you, and so you're 4-6. Musso, you stink.
I've taken some shots here.
Okay, Muse, since you're dead last, who do you like in the AFC Championship game so we know which direction not to go?
Hey, give me the Ravens. I like Baltimore. Hey, look, I picked against Mahomes last weekend. That was really dumb, but I'm going to do it again. Baltimore's been the best team in the league all year. I like that they get Mark Andrews back. They're at home. I'll take Baltimore.
Okay, going with Baltimore. Paulie.
I picked against the Chiefs in the wild card game. I picked against the Chiefs in the divisional game. Do I do it again?
Yeah, do it.
Trifecta. 3rd time's a charm.
I'm going to pick the Chiefs to win this game.
Oh!
I hope that they lose because I picked against them. So a little reverse psychology there. I'm going with the Chiefs.
Okay.
I like Lamar. Give me Baltimore.
Yeah. I'm in no danger of losing to any of you since I have such a big lead. I can do whatever I want.
That's true, you can.
Not pick. But I agree. I like Baltimore's defense. I think they are built for this. Lamar has been the best player in the NFL. I did think Buffalo was going to win last week, and I told you, you all have the right to collectively beat me with the metal end of a hose if the Bills and Chiefs play again in the playoffs, and I even consider picking against Patrick Mahomes. But not this time, man. This is in Baltimore. Ravens defense, be a great environment. I think John Harbaugh might be the best coach in the NFL. And I like Baltimore. I think Baltimore wins it and will go to the Super Bowl. All right. In the NFC, let me hear Dan Campbell. Just give me some Dan Campbell. Whatever you got. Dan Campbell.
You know, this will be an outstanding test for us, but it's one we're ready for. We're ready for. So we're built to handle this, and this is going to be an outstanding game on the road. Our guys are going to be ready to roll.
All right. Is it the knee biters or the Niners? Muse.
He's right. His guys are going to be ready to roll 100%. The Lions are for real, but I don't see San Francisco coming out as slow out of the gates as they did against the Packers. And if they come out like they can, they're going to win the game, and I like San Francisco to win the game.
Okay. Paulie.
I'm going with the knee biters.
Oh.
I think San Francisco's got a couple injuries that they're worried about with Debo, and see if Christian McCaffrey's fully healthy. And then, I just like Jared Goff. I like Amon-Ra St. Brown. I think the Lions get it done.
Okay. Mr. The Riot.
Lions.
Any reason in particular?
I like their coach.
I do too.
And I like Barry Sanders.
And you like Barry Sanders?
I do, yeah.
Who's been retired for 20 years?
I like Barry
Got
Sanders.
it. I do. Yeah, Barry. Great.
Calvin Johnson.
There goes Barry.
I like Calvin Johnson.
Dude, Megatron.
Chris Spielman.
Eh?
Yeah.
I like Barry. And I like their coach.
There goes Barry. Hand off Barry. It was one of those NFL like films, videos, the big highlights. In the 90s, they did that.
Yeah.
This is the easiest one to pick. The Niners are not only going to win, they're going to cover. They're going to blow the doors off of the Lions. And the Lions are a great story, but San Francisco will win this. They'll win it by double digits. This, I don't even think, will be a competitive game. Much respect to Dan Campbell, what he's done. They were a really weird call against Dallas from being the 1 seed and playing this game at home. And if they're at home, I might think differently. But on the road in San Francisco, a more battle-tested team, the better team. This is new for Detroit. They rode a giant wave of emotion the last 2 weeks at home, and they come crashing down in this one. I'll give you the comp that some people have said, the Lions are a lot like the 06 Saints. In this instance, that's true. The 06 Saints went, and I was there for the 06 NFC Championship game in Chicago, and they went into that game, and even with Rex Grossman at quarterback, the Saints were outclassed. They were outclassed, and they weren't ready for that stage, and Detroit's going to be in the same situation. So, been a great year for Detroit, but San Fran laying 7, easy money for me. I will lay that 7 with no hesitation whatsoever. So, I don't like the fact that Muse and I picked the same games. And Muse is dead last.
Yeah.
Like, awful dead last.
Yep.
Like, way, way dead last. I mean, 4-6, and he actually picked. You're 4-6 because you went 0 for last week, which doesn't even seem fair. I feel badly for you. I feel like Paul did you dirty.
It's messed up, Paul.
Leave it up to Paul O'Neill.
I just thought that was the rule, so that's what I went with.
That's messed up.
That has always been the rule.
Well,
your rule, as a matter of fact.
I never made a rule.
You've made a rule.
Where's the rule? It's just how we've proceeded. And then he complained about it, so I sent him the games and then let him pick.
I didn't get the games last week.
Well, it's your fault. You could have sent me your picks. It's all right. I think it's way funnier this way.
It's okay. Yeah,
I think it's way funnier this way that you and Musso have the same record, and you took a bagel because you didn't pick.
Yeah, I mean, it's fine.
Damn Packers, man. Should be 5-5.
Oh,
I was a right side. I was a right side loser, bro.
No doubt. Well, I don't know. If you were against the spread, then you won.
And I was.
You were on the right side of that. Okay, it's after further review. We're glad you're with us. We're brought to you by Relief Windows and ReliefWindows.com. We're going to get to Ask Ryan, so get your questions in for Theriot. Ask anything about anything. Email us, tweet us, text us in the 225-396-4400, 396-4400. Love telling you about Relief Windows. Windows, doors, siding. Oh, yeah. We do indoor shutters as well.
Oh, my gosh. They do it all.
They do it all over at Relief Windows. They're the best. You know, one thing that I never, ever talk about when I talk about Relief Windows is price. There's a lot of companies that'll sit here and go, this price, this cheap, cheap. Well, you know the old adage, you get what you pay for. Mm-hmm. At Relief Windows, they're never going to be the cheapest. They won't. I'll tell you that flatly. If you're just shopping price, don't call.
If it's cheap, it ain't good.
They are not.
It's good, it ain't cheap.
They are not the cheapest. Will not be. But you will get wood windows that come with wood windows with a lifetime warranty. What? If your kid throws a remote control into the window and breaks it, lifetime warranty on labor, material, and glass breakage. Mr. Tero knows something about that.
Mm-hmm.
They'll come and replace your window
multiple times if it happens.
By the
if
way,
it happens more than once, they still come back.
It's a transferable warranty. So when you sell your house, it transfers to your new homeowner. How about that for resale value?
I mean, you could probably break your windows on purpose if you just wanted some new ones, and they'd come out and change them.
That would be fraud. Anyway, it's Relief Windows. Windows, doors, siding. Now, interior shutters as well. It's Relief Windows and reliefwindows.com. All right, y'all. We got one thing left to do. It's Ask Ryan. We'll wrap up a busy Friday AFR presented by Don Juan Cigar Bar. I'm jacked. Next week, Ocho will be here. I don't know which day yet. We're ironing out the deets, but we'll tell you about it when we have it. And Sherman Wilson and Lane Kiffin are feuding on Twitter, and that makes me so happy. I just can't wait to continue to watch this day in and day out. Big news if you missed it, Austin Thomas. It's being reported Wilson Alexander had it first. Austin Thomas returning to Baton Rouge to join LSU. This will be his third stint in Baton Rouge, something we've been talking about for a couple weeks now. The Austin Thomas. Again, it's so the only odd thing, I mean, we told you Austin Thomas 2 weeks ago. The only odd thing about it is that it's taken so long to get these announced or done, whatever it is. So, but anyway. All right. It's after further review. We'll wrap up next.
AFR.
Get Gordon and get it done. Gordon McKernan Injury Attorneys. Love what they're doing with the G team, man. Just about every week, announcing a new member of the G team. As a matter of fact, on Monday, 2 Get Gordon athletes will be in here. Dara Haydet, who is the captain of the Tiger Girls, who just won the national championship. Daryl will be here in studio with us, as will, help me, it's, Kyla Hebert, the LSU cheerleader. So Gordon, especially with Women's History Month coming up, highlighting a lot of the female athletes on LSU's campus. So we're excited to be able to do that as well. Of course, Gordon McKernan Injury Attorneys. If you've been in an accident, it's not your fault. You know what to do. Call 888-8888. That's 888-8888. Or go to getgordon.com. That's getgordon.com. Over 30 years, Gordon and his team have helped 10,000 Louisiana residents and recovered more than $2.6 billion in damages. If you've been injured, you know what to do. Get Gordon and get it done.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Follow us on Twitter at 1045ESPN to cast your vote in the Citizens Bank and Trust Poll of the Day. Vote daily inside Off the Bench, live at lunch on Palmer. And after further review, Citizens Bank and Trust brings you the Poll of the Day via Twitter at 1045ESPN.
Breck teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered. Gold. Brack, your #1 park system in the nation.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
His name was Cain. He had a horse along the countryside.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Don Juan Cigar Bar.
Down the stretch we come, final segment here on a Friday edition of AFR, presented by Don Juan Cigar Bar. Get on by and see them in Town Center. Great place to have a cocktail, a premium cigar. Just kick back.
Skills. I'm a big Air Max guy.
You are a big Air Max guy.
Go to Ruckus. Ruckus103.com.
Men's basketball at Alabama tomorrow.
Tigers are going to bounce back, man. Get them. They playing good. I mean, they're
LSU in their last 25 trips to Tuscaloosa.
Don't say this.
4-21.
Man.
LSU does not win at Coleman Coliseum ever. Maybe they surprise us tomorrow. All right, Muse Pauly, appreciate you. Have a great one. See you Monday at 3.
AFR.
Hey, you called First South Farm Credit, didn't you?
I did.
Tell me your experience. If you want to buy land, your first call should be to First South Farm Credit.
So my question was always, how does it work? Is it like buying a home? Is it like buying, anything, which it's not typically. But what surprised me most is if you have a lender that you like or a bank that you like, First South, because they specialize in land, farm stuff, like they work hand in hand with your bank to find the best product for you to purchase that land you're trying to purchase. Most of us just get intimidated and just lease, but in all actuality, they work together and can make that dream come true.
They've been doing it for more than 100 years. Since 1916, First South Farm Credit has helped Louisianians buy land. If it's recreational property, hunting property, if it's for agriculture, maybe you want to buy 20 acres to build your dream home that'll be in your family for a century. First South Farm Credit can make that happen. First South Farm Credit. Your first call, your first option should be First South Farm Credit. Log on to firstsouthland.com.
Yo, Jake here from my friends over at Community Steel Company located in Gonzales, Louisiana. The local place you can turn to for all of your metal building needs. Notice I said local, not Houston, not Dallas, not Atlanta, but right here in Gonzales. Visit them at their brand new state-of-the-art website at communitysteelco.com or pick up the phone and give them a call today to answer all of your questions on your metal buildings, roofing and sheet metal, and any other steel needs you or your business need at 225-647-2020.
Bayou Ford is taking $10,000 off MSRP on new 23 Ford F-150 lifted trucks. $10,000 off new Ford F-150 and 3.9% financing. All new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million-mile warranty. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. For years, you've heard me tell you about Insurance Network of Louisiana, helping you find better coverage for less money. But it's not just for your home and auto. They also offer commercial property. So, retail stores, professional offices like doctors, dentists, attorneys, clothing boutiques. Insurance Network of Louisiana can find you better coverage for less money. They service the entire state of Louisiana, and they're local. So call today at 293-0450 or lainsurance.net.
It was a humid day, barefoot children play, looking for that summer shade. Time just slips away. Oh, Louisiana, some kind of hold on me. Like cypress stumps, your roots are planted deep inside of me.